are live on Pop Culture Breakdown. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I have assembled a panel of pop culture pundits to go ahead and discuss the pop culture events of the day. We're going to talk about the Marvels being the biggest flop that the MCU has had to date, and the reasons for that. Apparently, they're trying to blame it all on toxic white males and stuff, but it doesn't really hold water, does it? And we're going to talk about Wile E. Coyote rides again, because apparently that Wile E. Coyote feature is coming back. I've actually read the piece that they based the movie on. It was Wile E. Coyote versus Acme. It's pretty funny. We're going to review the few of us that saw the Marvels are going to review it. And actually, I only saw half of it because I walked out of the theater. So I saw about 47 minutes of it. But we're gonna talk about that as well. And Douglas Nelson was very intrepid, and he by God took the hit again and went and saw it. Douglas, and you and I will chew the fat about that as well. It's going to be fun. But we have our panel of pop culture pundits here. We have Gary Ambrosia. Hail to Gary Ambrosia. How you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. Getting good grades. Future's
Very
so
good.
bright. I got to wear shades.
Well, you made it out of Marvels and a little early, so that's good.
It was so bad that I started like questioning my life. You know, I started like having existential thoughts of, you're not getting any younger. And, I started feeling like the Grim Reaper was just looking right over my shoulder saying, is this really the way you want to go out? And I'm like, no. And I just got the fuck out of there. I've caught a little bit of guff about it, but it's like, look, if you can't interest me at all in half of your movie, like the first half of your movie, it's only about, 90, 100 minutes. So 47 minutes, 48 minutes is plenty. If they can't, I gave it a fair chance. All it was going to be was more suck. And no, I didn't give 2 squirts of lukewarm piss for, whatever the cameo was. I guess it was the Beast or something. Who gives a fuck, honestly? This thing is a goddamn disaster, but we're going to talk about that and have a big laugh. And I just wanted to shout out to Casey Osowski. It's great to see you back, brother, and thank you for that enormous super chat, brother. We've missed you, brother. I was worried about Casey, but Casey is back, and I am delighted that he is. I was wondering, what happened to him, and sent an email and didn't get any response. And by God, he is back, and I'm so goddamn glad. Love you, Casey Osowski. You're an executive producer on the next several pop culture breakdowns. I just want to tell you, dude, because that was very generous of you. Anyway, let's see. Mexican Iron Man, welcome to the show, brother. He's muted.
Hey, CC, thanks for having me. Great to be here with you as always. Hail the mods, hail the chat, and good to be here. Exciting times. Funny. All I'm going to say is this: even though I didn't see the movie, so it's technically the white guys can't claim the blame. The brown guys are taking some of the blame for not going and paying to watch the movie. I didn't go. Sorry, not sorry. And Bob did mention on the call last week that he was excited for the opening of the Marvels, but I'll bet he's not excited right now. Hashtag dang it, Bob.
Bob Iger should have on his Twitter profile now, hashtag I got a rock. That's what it should be. It's like Charlie Brown. It's a great pumpkin. I got a rock. He did not have a successful opening for the Marvels. And in fact, it's kind of causing them existential angst, and they are questioning everything at this point as well. My spies tell me that there have been emergency meetings and heads are rolling and nobody knows what the fuck to do. And it's high time. It's high time that they realize just what a deep pit of shit that they are in. Welcome, Douglas Nelson, to the show. Thank you for biting the bullet and watching the Marvels.
Well, after Willow and Ahsoka, I developed quite the tough skin.
You're right.
And thankfully, the best part about the Marvels was they cut it down to 90 minutes. So, it didn't take that long.
I imagine that, honestly, what I think is that it just was so goddamn bad that, they just decided to just yank shit. Just yank this bit, yank that bit, yank that bit. But it only leaves us about 90 minutes. Fine. Whatever. After all the reshoots and everything, it still sucked. And, it's whatever.
You could so tell how much that it was cut here and there, and different scenes where the CGI is not as up to snuff as some other scenes and stuff like that. So, and I can guess quite a bit of what they cut out and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just judging from watching it, I would suspect that they cut everything good out of it, but I don't think there ever was anything good in it to start with. So I don't know. I think this is the best, the best that they could be. And
when you're stealing a plot from Spaceballs for your serious superhero movie, you probably have a problem there.
Yeah,
much better in Spaceballs, which is a superior classic.
Yes, absolutely. Nick of Echo Base Network. Nick, I'm surprised you didn't bite the bullet and go see it to review it.
Oh, good God, no! I was not going in to see this movie. I am at that point in my life where movies and video games, I have got to really want to see them or play them to actually get it. Like back in the day, I would just go to the movies, be like, oh, this looks good, or this looks interesting, or this is going to be terrible. I'll have to go check this out so I can see how bad it really is, or play this game or whatever. And now it's just like, unless I'm pumped and excited, I'm just not giving my money to any of that stuff anymore. So yeah, I skipped it, and I will probably never watch this movie ever in my lifetime.
Well, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. And Robert Wright, it's great to see you, Robert. How are you?
Doing well. And you know what, Doomcock? Unfortunately, Loki's probably not much better than the Marvels. I saw the finale for Loki season 2, and we'll talk a little bit about that tonight too.
Excellent. I'm delighted that we will get to do that. And before we begin, I just want to read this from Casey Asowski, a $200 super chat, which is insane, dude. You are an executive producer twice over, man. And Casey Asowski says, "Hail all. DC, I can't tell you how nice it is to be back. Here's a late Halloween treat for you, Harvey, and your robot army. God bless you, Casey. We're really, really glad that you're okay. I was really worried about you, brother, and we're delighted that you're here. All right. Well, let's go ahead and start the breakdown, shall we? All right, folks, let's go ahead and talk about the Marvels. The Marvels is the biggest failure in terms of box office for the MCU, period, and stop. Now, unless it has some kind of late renaissance or something. I mean, we're just talking about the opening weekend. They only made 40. Actually, their estimate was $47 million. They made 46.1 in actual. So the estimate was a little high, a little optimistic. This is the worst opening that they've ever had by far. And, the blame is going around. The, director, who is, I guess, a woman of color or something, was blaming white males and toxic men for not showing up and supporting this shit show. I showed up, but I walked out. I mean, does that count? I only get half the blame, I guess. I don't know. Jesus Christ, it's fucking awful. This thing was bad. I mean, we're gonna talk about. I'll go over again. My review of the Marvels in the second hour, and I'm going to talk about that with Douglas, who is the only man here who has seen the whole movie. I just, honest to God, I was like, why am I sitting here? Why? It was about the time I think that Monica Rambeau was telling like Captain Marvel, like you never came back. I needed you and all this shit, and I'm like, oh my God. And she just had a like little scene with Kamala Khan, like talking about I'm all right, you're all right, and okay, we're not a team, but whatever. And I was just like, so this is essentially like CW level writing here, and not Superman and Lois level writing. We're talking.
Oh, no.
I don't know what I don't watch. I mean, Batgirl, Batwoman,
Batwoman level, yeah.
Yeah, basically, like talking about their fifis and shit, and all these incomprehensible. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it right now. We'll get into it hour two. But this thing is a huge black eye for the MCU, a massive black eye, a massive wake up call. And Douglas, you had said, who would have predicted this?
Can't imagine.
Everybody, every fucking anyone sentient that has not been in a coma and saw some of the spots looked at like, Captain Marvel, the original, movie. And, it's just, it's really unbelievable that these people are so tuned out. This thing is hilarious. Now, it turns out statistically that actually it was men that buoyed this thing up to the extent that it was buoyed. The people that stayed away from this are women. Women had no interest. 65% of the audience was male, folks. 35% women. And I assume small animals that just wandered in for the air conditioning.
How do you do 65% of like 2?
65% of
2.
What do you mean?
Because there weren't that many people in the theaters when.
The actual
65%.
count. Well,
It's like 1 in, somebody's foot or something. I don't know.
yeah, well, a fragment.
You're
One
right,
of them was a serial killer.
Yeah.
One of them was a serial killer, had half a person in a bag and had it next to him, and that's what the fraction comes in.
So DC, you mean it wasn't made for us?
No,
We're getting the blame for not going to it, and yet we were 65% of the audience.
Yes, we were 65% of the audience, and women did not show up. And do you know why women didn't show up? Because women have even less interest in looking at Brie Larson than we do. The simple fact of the matter is women want to see men. Women want to see men. They like looking at men. They like looking at Jason Momoa. They like looking at Thor. They like looking at Chris Evans being ripped as Captain America. They like men acting like men and women acting like women. They certainly do enjoy, empowered, intelligently written women. But just having, basically, wham and wank fest just did not work for them. It's just so goddamn funny. You just think about it. I was just laughing because it's like, what do you got? You got 3 women are the leads. You got a woman with a hammer. That's the villain. And then what happens? Another woman pops up, Valkyrie, to solve some problems with the Skrulls, who I don't give a shit about. I didn't even bother to look at the fucking Secret Invasion. And, it's just fucking hilarious. These woke people are trying to defy nature. They're trying to actually defy the natural order, which is, on the whole, women like men and men like women, and they like them acting like men and women appropriately. That's kind of the average normal viewpoint. And a movie that keeps trying to buck average natural viewpoints is going to fail. And it has. Mike, I see you've got something here for us to. What should I what do you want to say about this first of all?
Well, we have our box office performance here. Domestic box office, including today, 51.78, worldwide box office 114 million. And this is our very familiar little cone, our line and cone chart. Remember this? We look at this all the time. And so what happens is the cone is like, so it takes off. There's our opening Fridays. And then here's what the cone should be if it's going to perform based upon its initial 2 or 3 day trajectory. And then we see Doomcock. Oh no, we've got a problem.
No.
Houston, we've got a problem. The
Doomcock,
trajectory.
we're not even on the low side of the cone.
No.
Oh, no.
And it's widening. The gap is widening.
The gap is widening, and it gets even more shocking because we could compare this to compare this performance with other movies. I wanted to throw in from 2008, The Incredible Hulk.
The previous loser.
The previous loser was The Incredible Hulk.
Oh, ouch.
Which at this point in time had already racked in 55 million, which is widely regarded. I mean, everybody knows that movie, whether you like it or not, financially, massive financial problem, underperformer. We're not even there. In fact, if you look at the line, not only is it not following that line, it's falling off.
Yeah.
There is no way it's going to hit that. And by the way, let's keep in mind 2 things. One, that's back upon in 2008. Once upon a time when movie tickets were a lot cheaper then than they are now, Doomcock.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've got to adjust for inflation, number one. And number 2 is that in terms of a budget, this thing here, the marketing of a budget of this thing and the production budget cost of this thing is just insane. I mean, my God, we've been watching ads for the Marvels for weeks, months. Like I said last week, I still watch a lot of terrestrial TV. I watch NFL. I watch baseball. I see, this thing's been running nonstop. In fact, on Monday night, this past Monday night, of last week, I mean, they were still like doing Monday Night Football ads and
expensive shit. I mean, I'm glad you're saying this, Mike, because they were saying there was an article I saw that the budget's about 250 million and they spend 100 million on marketing, and I'm like, bullshit. No, man, they spent a lot more than 100 million on that marketing.
Well, Doomcock, I mean, the thing is like you and I are in totally different areas. I'm out here in the East Coast, South Carolina. I just finished traveling. I've been watching these ads run from California to Key West, Florida, to over the last month and a half. This movie's been rolling. And in your market, I mean, I'm sure you've seen these ads. I'm sure you watch some baseball.
Absolutely. I mean, on the fucking, big major sporting events. I mean, I don't have it handy, but I mean, I've seen this shit. They did like a special, and now, a preview of the Marvels or so. I've seen shit like that. This thing is a complete fail, but they spent a lot more. I would think at least double. I would bet they spent 200 million easily.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it the Las Vegas kitty thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that don't come cheap.
Dude, no one in Vegas. If everyone in Vegas had gone to see this movie, the numbers would have made a difference. The live stream with the kitty cats didn't work. We talked about that, right? The kitty cat live stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
The kitty cat, in Vegas. I mean, all the ads, nothing worked. None of these characters were compelling. Now, oddly enough, this is supposed to form the basis of what will be our crew of Avengers or Marvel characters going forward.
Oh, God almighty. My spies were so fucking right. Turning into the MCU. I mean, they said this that was 2 years, a year or 2 ago. They said
it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Welcome to the MCU. Jesus Christ. These numbers are terrible.
Yeah. On Midnight Edge, someone even put in a chat. So this was a pretty funny one. Someone had an anecdotal evidence. They said they asked their daughter if they wanted to go see the movie, and the daughter, she's I guess high school age, and said, "Is Thor going to be in it?" And he said, "No, I don't want to go." That was on today's show. And
that's great. And it didn't mean she Thor. They meant real Thor.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This looks to be an absolute certified disaster for Marvel. Just when, all this investment, like this group that like acquired bought up a bunch of Disney stock, which I guess has helped to rally the price some. And then here comes more bad news for these dumb fucks.
Right? Are you talking about Value Act?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that hit the street this morning, earlier today, and there's been a lot of articles about that. Value Act is disclosed on CNBC that Value Act has a stake. These are guys that are currently involved with things like Salesforce. I think they're 12 or 14 billion in assets under management, and yeah, I mean, it certainly makes things interesting. There's been no comment from Value Act officially or from Disney, but that's not an insignificant thing happening.
It's not.
It's not insignificant at all. And the street is pretty moronic and dumb. What happened is that Bob and his band of bored idiots, Bob and his band of 7 morons or 9 morons that are on the board. Bob and his band of happy morons sold Wall Street that the future of Disney is streaming, and now they're in an environment where they're losing their ass on streaming, and the entire value of the stock is based on hope that they're going to get this thing together. When in reality, as we know and have discussed, the problems are far wider and far deeper. When I look at Disney, it's a lot to me like looking at the Titanic. They're like, did we just hit some ice? Guys, it'll be all right.
Right.
It'll be all right. We'll just shut that compartment off, and we'll just shut that compartment off. But I'm excited about Value Act. Value Act fought on the Salesforce. There were a lot of articles about this when they did this. They fought to get a board seat on Salesforce. So I'm pretty sure if they've been building their capital stake, they're looking for a board seat at some point in time.
But what kind of company are they? Are they another Vanguard or woke company, or are they a company that's going to be interested in profit?
No, they're pretty much interested in profit and adding value. They're much more Nielsen Peltz oriented, where they're an investment fund. I mean, 12 billion is nothing compared to the billions of dollars that say BlackRock or Vanguard have under management. So they don't have the luxury of that BlackRock and Vanguard have, which the luxury that they have is, number one, they're huge. And number two is that they're playing with money that is not theirs at all, because almost all the money that they control are the retirement funds of all of us average Americans that have 401ks and mutual funds and all that. They're literally creating this havoc with other people's money. And in the case of trying and Nielsen Peltz, he's a self-made man. Right. He's not writing the money that he has under management that he's deploying for stock. It's not coming from other people's money like BlackRock. It's money that he's made and he's built. Now these Value Act guys have raised capital, but they're stewards of the capital that they raise. So they're coming from an investor focus and not from a sort of social change by using other people's money, whatever kind of type of agenda. So I'm excited. And so the stock price, on the one hand, look, this company's got to suffer significant pain. So there's only one of two ways this company's going to get fixed. It either gets muscled in a fixing by people like Nielsen Peltz and Value Act and others, or it has to suffer catastrophic stock failure so that there is a reckoning, a lot like going to court and facing the charges for felony wokeness, which is what Bob Iger is guilty of. He is guilty of, Doomcock, felonious wokeness.
Absolutely, I agree with that entirely. And I guess my question would be to you: do you get the sense that these guys might be potentially allying with Peltz? Like if it came down to, board votes or, getting a seat on the board, do you think that they might vote along with Peltz?
I don't have enough information to say that for sure, but my gut instinct would say yes.
That would be the guess.
Yes, because by Disney declining to make a comment, that means they were like, what? Wait, what?
You're right.
See, right. You got to see how this played out. Is that so? Value Act. If I'm Value Act, I'm not going to want to get you a public statement that CNBC figured out that I've been increasing my holdings, because I'm trying to sneak. Because in order because when you're trying to be an activist investor, you're trying to like claw your way up to the BlackRock, you're trying to like claw your way up to importance.
Yeah.
Right. Just like Nelson did. Nelson at the beginning of the year had this much, and now he's got 4 times as much with pelts. Right.
Right.
So if you're value act, you want to be on the down low. It's a lot like, kind of ninja activist investor. But on the flip side, if Disney was excited about this, there would have been a press announcement about it. Bob Iger excited that a board seat will be going to Value Act, which is now no, there's none of that.
Right. You're absolutely correct. They would have absolutely announced it and been excited about it.
Yep.
Shit. That's yeah. So this is actually a very interesting development.
And the fact that the stock went up, I'm okay with that. Well, first of all, because as we know, a good chunk of my shares are upside down anyways. But
yes.
but what this tells me is that that might make Value Act and Nielsen more aggressive with what they might try to do. Because let us not forget that this thing is still down 40% over the last year and change. We're still in the 90s. We're not even at when Bob kicked out Chapek, when Iger kicked out Chapek, it was at what, 110, 112?
Yeah.
In November of a year ago? Are we
Yeah.
at the anniversary? What's today's date? The 15th? 1 year minus a week ago today on a Sunday was when Bob Chapek was forced out.
I know. We miss him. Yeah. So this is an interesting development, but the Marvel's bombing, yet another cinematic bomb at this point, and the worst one yet, cannot help Disney's mood these days. Does anyone else have anything to say about the Marvels being such a dismal failure?
I just want to say, I think it's on its way up because it's at 51 million now. It's doing a lot better.
He's holding out hope.
I heard this movie beat out the worst box office of DC as well, which was what, Flash and Shazam?
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is doing, isn't this
Beetle.
doing, Marvel's doing worse than the Flash and Shazam,
Oh
right?
my God,
Yeah.
I didn't even look at that. Let me add the Flash. Let me add, what was the other one you just said? The Flash and
Shazam.
what?
Shazam.
Shazam, the
Fury of the Gods?
Yeah.
That's
Black Adam, I don't think did that good either.
right.
It's ahead of Fury of the Gods, but it's below the Flash.
Wow.
But it's not
Below
ahead of
Not
the
too
Flash.
great.
I'm not very surprised about the 65% of the audience was men, because there's only one group of people that treat women worse than men, and that's other women. So really, I mean, they hate each
Very
other.
true.
They really hate each other. So it makes sense to me,
What do you always? What's the thing you always hear from women? I'm just more comfortable around guys. I just get along with guys more.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You hear that. And, or it's like, like you see it all the time, like on some of these like reality shows where, a bunch of girls get together for a weekend or something, and the fur flies. It just,
Yeah.
honest. It's like, a bunch of guys get together and everybody's chill and they're drinking, they're having fun. The women, it's like, oh, I hate her. I'm not going to room with her. She can't be in my cabin. This happens all the fucking time.
Right.
Wow.
I don't know what
I
it
think
is.
it's built into their nature.
Yeah, we hang out with each other. We're like, all right, see you later, dickhead. All right, fuckface. And then we walk away and we talk about our buddy, behind his back. We're like, dude, that guy's like the best dude ever. I love that
Yeah,
dude.
right.
And then, women are like, oh my God, it's so great to see you. And then, they turn their back. They're like, she's a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
She's a fucking bitch. That's the way it is, man. So, yeah.
It is awful true.
So you're welcome for 65% of those fucking ticket sales. You're welcome.
Yes, you're
Yes.
welcome.
Probably that 65% of the audience was reviewers and people that had to see it, and they're all gone now. The articles are written. There's no other motivation. I don't think that's. It's just there's nowhere to go but down. at this point. Wouldn't you agree, Douglas? Don't you think?
Yeah, I would think so. I was surprised because when Mike was showing his graph and everything, it reminded me that Bob Iger was a weatherman, and it's odd that he could not forecast this because he was saying on the call, "Hey, we got the Marvels coming."
Marvels are coming in this weekend. Nothing but sunshine, guys. Back to
Yeah.
Yeah, he's standing there, and we've got a front coming through this next Thursday night as the Marvels lands in theaters. We're told that this is going to be a rough one, but when I saw the report, I said, "Evacuate! A moment of triumph." I think you overestimate their grosses, and it turned out to be that's the case. Yeah, this thing, I love it because every time that a Marvel property fails, anytime that Disney comes up short, it's great for us.
And an angel gets its wings.
Yes, angels are getting a lot of wings these days.
I wonder also, did anybody on Sunday night flip channels and notice an interesting movie that Disney re-released on primetime? Empire Strikes Back was on ABC primetime on Sunday night, and I
did not know that.
Viewers,
I saw that. Yeah.
I wonder if it had more viewers than the Marvels.
Yeah, almost for sure.
Yeah.
Almost for sure. I mean, obviously I didn't watch it because why would I watch Empire Strikes Back special edition with commercials? But
Yeah.
Robert, you still get ABC where you are?
Yeah, I do.
What do you have, like rabbit ears on your TV or something like that? Jeez.
it got a potato on one of the antennas,
Right.
Tip oil wrapped around the
Crank
top.
up your tube TV. All right, guys, let's see what's going on.
Yeah.
He has to pedal to watch the TV like Charlton Heston in Soylent Green, remember?
Move that left antenna a little to the right.
Fucking ABC.
Holy shit, folks. This thing is a goddamn disaster. And I don't know what they're projecting for, how they think this thing is going to bottom out. But, I mean, it looks like it's dropping worse than their, worst kind of cone of projection there. And I think it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. I mean, Is there anything coming out in the next few weeks that's going to, bump it, or will it just be like a desperation thing where there's nothing else literally to see and the kids are screaming over Thanksgiving and they just want to get them to fuck out and show them something? When is Wish coming?
I'm not sure what the release date is. That I know Rebel Moon comes out in December,
but that's going to not be in theaters. That's going to be on.
It's going to be in limited theaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm in. We're
November
going to talk
22nd.
November 22nd. Okay.
That's a week from today.
I would think that would be motivation for people to stay home and not go out there, but I don't know.
Oh.
I think this thing is just a bomb, and it's good because so much for the MCU. So much. This was the ultimate MCU movie. Could it get any more MCUer than this?
I don't think so.
Honestly.
No, this is peak MCU.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's unfiltered, undiluted, concentrated MCU, and it just was the worst ever.
I do got a question for Mike. Do you think do you see this thing hitting 250 worldwide by the end of its run?
I can't see any way that's going to happen. I don't.
Yeah, I mean it's not even at 115 right now. Because I know before it released, they were saying, I heard a couple projections like top end would be like 250 worldwide. Now looking at the numbers right now, I'm like, man, I don't even know if it's going to even hit
at 250. At 250, it's not. Remember how we do the math? We got to do the splits with the theaters. It's not like that's 250 million at Disney.
Right.
That's like
yeah.
That's meaningless.
60-40. 60-40 now.
It's 60-40 splits with theaters, and then overseas they get even less.
God,
So-
how much are the theaters right now? It just
That is why this thing has to do. If you take the production budget in U.S. dollars of 247.8 million, and you believe that, which let's just say for craps and giggles, we will, and then you add another. I think Doomcock is right because Doomcock is right. Hashtag.
Thank you.
Another 200 mil on top of that. I mean, look, even if you want to be nice and just say it's 100 mil, you're still at 350, and with the splits, it's got to do 3x that. 750 mil, we're losing money. And I mean, that's being super duper generous.
Virtually impossible.
It's mathematically impossible. There's no way. So, any of these idiots that are Marvel stands that are going online, well, it could break even. And, if it hits 250, we start making money. Hey, guys, if it hits 250, we'll start making money. No. No.
Bob, dang it.
I saw this tweet from this guy saying, "Oh, look at me!" He had a picture of the theater. It was an empty theater, and there was Brie Larson on the screen in the Marvels, and he said, "Man, I got so lucky. I'm getting a individual screening of the Marvels." And I'm like, that's not luck. That's just reality.
So did I.
Statistics playing out, motherfucker. It's not really. You're not blessed.
That's a good question. How many people were in your theater, Doomcock? And
there were like 5 other people, and then
it was
I'm pretty sure at least 2 of them left, like Doomcock did.
Are you serious? There were like 5 in yours?
Yes. Yeah, that was it.
I saw it earlier. I don't know, maybe. I mean, it wasn't a big theater. Maybe 30, maybe. I don't know. It wasn't sold out. Wasn't sold out. But I mean, that was like Thursday. Now it's just out there. I mean, it's empty. It ain't never coming back again. No more. Do you think it's just? I've always wondered this, guys. Do you think that, like, it just plays out this way? Like, I mean, like, it's just the natural progression of there's just not a lot of interest in the movie, or after it fails its opening weekend, does the stench of failure like stick to it, and people who might have gone and seen it later just decide, I don't think so. Do you think it's one or the other, or
it's
combination?
I just talked to some friends of mine who are running a theater here, and they say that they get a lot of social media and buzz regarding the movies that are coming out. But one thing they also get is people calling and asking them, are people going to see this movie? And they tell them, well, no. And they're like, okay, well, now we're not going to go see it. So people are basing it on what other people think.
I gotcha.
So that's very interesting. Like, nobody really has any interest in going to see something unless other people are already going to see it. No one wants to be the first to go out and see it because they don't want to be the only ones in the theater. But, according to Marvels, they all were, like they were the only ones in the theater. But that's a big problem right now, straight from a movie theater manager.
Well, awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. That kind of answers the question.
Yeah, that's consistent throughout all movies, including retro movies that they play.
Interesting. God, retro movies, they should have their own established rep. I mean,
but I'm talking about Marvels has been seating 2, 3, maybe 5 people down here, and I was just at Ghostbusters near Halloween, and it was 200 seats sold out.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, a great movie on a big screen with an audience of fans. Fuck yeah. Oh, yeah.
200 sold out. That was it.
I think every theater at this point should become a revival theater and just air the classic repertoire. I mean,
they'll make a lot more money.
Yes, I mean, it's a necessity. Yeah. They cannot depend on new movies at this moment.
No, fuck no. They absolutely cannot.
I just pulled up, just out of curiosity, the local theater here for tonight's showing of the Marvels, and there's 1 ticket sold.
Oh! 1 person. 1 lousy ticket.
1 seat has been sold.
Wow.
The whole theater is empty.
Golly.
I wonder if it's even doing as well as they're saying it is.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like, I mean, how many times have we seen photos of 1, 2, 5 people in a 200-seat theater? Yeah. And I mean, come on, like, they don't modify these numbers, but as we know from history, you can only cheat so much. You know what I mean? To the point where it starts revealing, their technique starts showing. but I don't know, man. 100 million seems like a lot. I mean, if there's one person in each theater, that means that you got to have the movie in like 10 million theaters, and I think there's only 8. So like, how does that work?
So the seat near me, the XD, the big screen, 2 seats.
Wow!
Oh, there we go. See, it's looking up. All right.
Well, see, listen, in
Must
Robert Wright's market,
in that XD.
in Robert Wright's market, the audience is 50% more. There are 50% more viewers in Robert. They must be doing something right in his market that they're not doing.
Yeah, and 1.5 of them are men.
All right.
Wow.
Let's. Any final comments about this debacle?
Well, I mean, the Marvel brand overall is badly damaged. It's had a series of terrible movies for the past 2 years. And had the opposite been true, Marvels would probably do a lot better. I think it was always doomed because the way they orchestrated the whole Captain Marvel thing has been bad from the get-go. And I mean, I guess their thinking was, oh, well, the Ant-Man movie would save them. That didn't happen. Guardians would come and give them a boost. It did well for Guardians, but that's about it. And that's, and everything else was flat. And then you expect Marvels to come in and, it's just, it had no hope at all.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a movie, again, it's another example of a movie that not only does it disrespect its own brand and whatnot, it disrespected itself. I mean, the plot was stupid. It was just so stupid.
Yeah.
And, nobody cared.
We'll talk about that amongst ourselves in the next period, but it was wretched. I mean, but it wasn't like I hated it.
Right. Yeah.
It's worse than hate. Hate at least is a passion. Hate can keep you up.
You still know you're alive when you're
yes. Blood is pumping like I hated The Last Jedi.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's so bad you have to check your own pulse.
I know. Yeah, The Last Jedi, I left the theater enraged, and everything, but I knew I was alive. I had a reaction.
The other factor in this, I think, is that I don't think Brie Larson is a likable actor. Her co-stars don't like her. She comes across as smug and arrogant and not a likable person. So who wants to
obviously
be that person?
Yeah.
Well, just judging from the video interviews at the end of Endgame, where the whole cast, she's sitting there with all of them, and they're like kind of looking at each other and doing a little metaphorical eye rolling when she talks, and even they snap at each other a couple times, in a low key kind of. I mean, that's not good. No. I mean, when they can't even muster the professionalism to pretend to get along, that's.
Yeah, but even if she was a likable personality, it wouldn't have done much for the movie because it was just so bad.
But I guess that's good news for fetishists that have certain attachments to Brie Larson. Because I mean, in a totally empty theater, they can indulge themselves entirely, and no one will ever know.
You know what? I don't know.
In your own living room.
I don't appreciate.
Are
you talking around the subject matter, Doomcock, and judging my life choices, Doomcock?
No. Well, but to that end, I gotta say, is that Alf lying there, and is he dead? Because if you look over there, don't move him. It looks like you have inadvertently included evidence of a major.
Yeah, it looks like half of Alf.
It looks like Alf.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did Alf go see the Marvels?
Oh, maybe Alf is just in a coma.
He's been lying there since last Wednesday, and that's where he belongs. He has not moved because he's lifeless.
Yeah, Mike, you got to get over to Home Depot and get a shovel and a bag of lye, my friend.
Yeah, it's gonna start to
No,
smell.
he's not. He's
Oh,
not.
boy.
He's not. Uh-oh.
Oh, jeez.
Poor Alf.
Well,
Alas, poor Alf. We hardly knew ye.
wow.
I just wanted to call that to your attention, Mike, that, he was lying there in the background. I was just staring at him all the time you were giving financial analysis. I'm thinking, that's one dead alien. He is not. All right. Well, speaking of back from the dead, I am pleased to say that Warner Brothers, according to Entertainment Weekly, Warner Brothers uncanceled Coyote versus Acme after a huge backlash, and they will shop the movie to other studios. The funny thing about this story is I didn't even know they were shooting a Wile E. Coyote, movie. Coyote versus Acme. I hadn't heard a damn thing about it. And when I initially heard that this movie had been canceled, I hadn't been aware that it existed. But when I heard it was canceled, I thought, thank God, because, what are they going to do to fucking Wile E. Coyote? The wokeness, what is the Roadrunner going to, be lecturing him about intersectional, feminism or some shit, it's going to be a woman. I don't know. I just figured, okay, thank God, something I love, because I love the Roadrunner cartoons. Wile E. Coyote is a personal icon of mine, a super genius villain. I love him. I love those cartoons. I didn't want to see them defiled, so I was glad it was out of its misery. But the more I've learned about this project now, I'm actually kind of relieved that it's back, and I really want to see it.
The concept is great.
Yes. Well, I've read the story. I mean, this was like a short story in the New Yorker or something. It was like a series of, legal motions, like a transcript from the trial. And, he's suing Acme for all the times that, the goddamn products, blew up on his ass and everything. I love those cartoons. And apparently this is like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and it's a mix of animation and live action, and it's written, it was co-written by James Gunn, who is excellent at this kind of thing. Say what you will about James Gunn and Superman and all this stuff, he's a funny fucking guy, and Guardians of the Galaxy, Peacemaker is fucking awesome. So if there's a guy that could write a great Coyote suing Acme story, it's fucking James Gunn. And anyway, basically Entertainment Weekly says that's not all, folks. Days after news broke that Warner Brothers was dropping an anvil on the completed movie, it's completed, Coyote versus Acme, by scrapping it for a tax write-off. Jesus, the studio has reversed course. Director Dave Green will now be allowed to shop the hybrid live-action animated movie to other potential distributors for a theatrical or streaming release. EW has confirmed. I was correct. It says, based on a humor piece published in the New Yorker in 1990, Coyote vs. Acme is produced and co-written by James Gunn and stars John Cena and Will Forte, duking it out in a lawsuit filed by the Roadrunner's iconic nemesis. Now, the film was set to go the way of Batgirl and Scoob Holiday Haunt, which were abruptly pulled from Warner Brothers' release schedule to take tax write-downs last year. Those moves were widely criticized at the time, not by me, because those things were going to be fucking horrible. And the decision to shelve Coyote versus Acme was similarly controversial, especially given Looney Tunes' status as an iconic brand for the studio. But once they did that, filmmakers started canceling meetings with Warner Brothers, because it's like, well, am I going to make this movie and then y'all are going to just fucking mothball it? Doctor Strange director Scott Derrickson said, I think it's absolute bullshit that a studio can and does shelve the creative work of hundreds of people for a fucking tax break. He says, the people working at Warner Brothers are anti-art, and I hope multiple anvils drop on their heads, said Brian Duffield, who's also a director. Now, the funny part about this is very interesting. is that the director says, for 3 years, I was lucky enough to make a movie about Wile E. Coyote, the most persistent, passionate, and resilient character of all time. I was surrounded by a brilliant team who poured their souls into this project for years. We were all determined to honor the legacies of these historic characters and actually get them right. Along the ride, we were embraced by test audiences, get this, who rewarded us with fantastic scores. I'm told that it scored a 90 in test screenings, which is like
wow,
like classic fucking movies. And he says, I am beyond proud of the final product and beyond devastated by Warner Brothers' decision. But in the spirit of Wile E. Coyote, resilience and persistence win the day. I am told, I've read that Scott Pilgrim Takes Off showrunner Ben David Grabinski wrote, Coyote vs. Acme is a great movie. The best of its kind since Roger Rabbit. It's commercial. It tested well. The leads are super likable. It's beautifully shot. The animation is great. The ending makes everyone fucking cry. I thought the goal of this business was to make hit movies. So, I'm cautiously excited that given the pedigree of the people working on it, test scores and all this stuff. Now, it could be bullshit, but the amount of passion around this project makes me think that it might just be something really special. Any comments from you guys?
Well, it's interesting, and what Zaslav's been doing. He's the hard money guy, and so he was looking at this as the tax write-off be the best way to go. But considering that it tested so well, there's the potential. Plus, since they're going to license this out, there again, he's thinking, well, all right, we get paid up front.
Yeah, I know.
But through that anyway. And then if there's a serious groundswell for it, then okay, it can turn a profit, and then you get that as well. So that's the thinking in it, and that's always the thinking. In the case of Batgirl, is like it did not test well.
Right.
So I don't know. I didn't see it, but still, he decided, well, let's go. Plus all the other problems they were having. It's a long story, but nevertheless, that's the way it is. It's a similar thing. Like I still bummed about Henry Cavill, but at the same time, money wise, if that was the deciding factor, I can respect that. I don't like it, but I respect it. Here, where it appears in the midst of all of this, the gameplay changed. They said, all right, well, we'll get that license fee. We'll go for that. Because that's the problem for Warner Brothers. Zaslav came into a mess. And it was probably much worse than what he even anticipated about it. They're hurting for money.
Actually, Midnight's Edge After Dark is in the chat here.
I sent you the link just now.
Oh, good. Okay. He says in all caps, this wasn't Zaslav. This is the new Warner Brothers animation head's call.
To scrap it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is really weird.
That is odd.
I mean, that's very weird. I mean, it really is so iconic to Warner Brothers. And the idea that they would just like, okay, even now, it's like with all the backlash, shouldn't they just, instead of trying to sell it off to another studio or something, shouldn't Warner Brothers wait a minute. Let's reverse course on this and release it,
Well, there's an article from the Hollywood Reporter that says that a congressman was calling for federal investigation of Warner Brothers for its handling of this movie.
I saw that.
So I wonder if there's a little bit of pressure there.
Wow.
Yeah. They basically compared it to somebody burning a building or a business down to collect the insurance money.
Which it is.
Well, yeah,
it kind of is.
Wow.
It's, what is it? Just not woke enough for you, right? Look,
I think they're in desperate need of cash.
Man.
They were scrambling for it.
But Douglas, let me explain this, not to you, but to anybody at Warner Brothers listening. If you are, I'm gonna do it like the burn notice guy. on Burn Notice where you talk about the ins and outs of spying. I'm going to say, when you're an entertainment company, the way you make money is releasing hit movies. And if they're hits, you get money. That's the so it's like, sounds like they might have a potential hit on their fucking hands. They're like, no, we don't. We're washing our hands of this. We need that tax write-off. It's like, are you out of your fucking mind? Who the fuck decided this? It sounds crazy.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Now, there has been, and I'll ask Tom about this, there has been speculation that this all was some kind of publicity stunt to go ahead and raise awareness of this project. Tom, welcome to the show, man. What do you know? What have you heard about this crazy shit?
Well, boy, where to start with this? This is one of those situations where, I mean, Mike might know a little bit more about this than I do, even because this congressman is the same guy who was going after him before about Batwoman.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, you don't understand how taxes work. Secondly, that should tell you one thing about your congressman right there.
Right.
Secondly, nobody's going after Disney for doing the same exact fucking thing to 100 of shows. They took off Turner and Hooch, Mighty Ducks, Willow, and these shows were already on Disney Plus. I'd like to know how they get away with shit canning those when they were actually released. Because here's the difference, and doesn't work with that congressman's kind of analogy here. It'd be different if you actually release the movie than pull it back like Disney did with their shows. They never released Batgirl. They were never planning on releasing this. This was the call of the new animation director. He saw something in it that didn't jive with him and whatever they're doing going forward. So he decided to pull the plug on it before any more money was spent on it. And Zaslav probably agreed with that at the time. We don't know. Maybe the movie's good. Maybe it's not. I like the concept too, from what I heard. But this is also the same company that just released Space Jam 2. So keep that in fucking mind.
True.
So you got to remember that this was a movie that started under that same regime. So there could be issues with it that we're not aware of. Right. And at this point, they're mitigating the loss. So they very well may have planned this thing from the start, or they just saw the tea leaves and go, wait a minute, we can make some money off this. Because let's be real. If they release this on HBO Max or in theaters, they are taking all the risk. With Amazon, Netflix, or somebody else coming in, footing the bill, taking all the risk for them, they are making money already before anything's said and done. Plus, they'll probably retain the video rights. So guess what? They'll be able to release a video of it in like 3-4 months from now too. So, or whatever, when it's done. See, that's the other thing is I've heard different conflicting reports on whether or not it's even done. I know principal photography is done, and I know they've been showing it to exhibitors, but that there's nowhere that I've ever seen or anybody has said that animation has been finished, and I've not seen one lick of animation yet. All I have seen is stuff without animation in it. They released some sizzle reel that we got blocked our video for, that we showed it on. That had no animation whatsoever. It was just all the stuff without the characters put in yet. Right? Wow. Like you saw the dust trail where the Roadrunner was supposed to be. You saw the result of the Coyote hitting the ground and stuff like that. But you never actually saw them. So again, I don't know. And you're right, James Gunn, that might be another reason why this thing is still in play. Right? Because he's a big wig now over at Warner Brothers. Is he might have swung in and said, wait a minute here. I worked on this too, and I believe in this. And he might have got up in Zaz's ear too, for all we know. Because from what I'd heard, this was the animation director's choice. Because I don't know if you saw this either. They've got a brand new Looney Tunes movie coming to theaters in like a year or 2 years from now. They dropped some footage of it like 2 weeks ago. And it's completely animated. So this will be the first time in history we have ever had 100% brand new, fully animated Looney Tunes movie ever. Space Jam, all those movies before were combinations. Remember that. So they were live action and animated. Same thing with all the Looney Tunes Roadrunner movies in the past. As we all know, famously as we grew up watching them, all they were the old Looney Tunes classic cartoons with bridges of new animation built in to kind of tangentially string them together. You know what I mean? Right. So this will be the first time ever we've ever had a full feature film based on the Looney Tunes that was not live action hybrid after this. So I think that's what one of the reasons why they were wanting to can it, because they're going in a completely different direction with the Looney Tunes.
The bullshit. It's synergy, dude. That doesn't make any sense to me, Tom. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that
I agree with it. No,
but they're insane. They're insane. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was gonna say I'm gonna fill in some more color commentary with what Tom's saying. One is that politicians in Hollywood are always on Zazo's ass, and he can never catch a break for anything that might be seen like, tax that might make financial sense. Whether it does or not is a different argument, but anything that might look like, they're constantly getting hit on. And I think it's a political thing. Number two is that I think the new animation guy came in and said he didn't want anything to do with this thing. Hey, we can take a $30 million tax hit. But no one asked the real question, which is the common sense one, Doomcock, which is that for distribution rights, they're going to get paid up front on this thing. The tax deduction of $30 million offsets about $80 to $100 million worth of taxable gain on other projects. But in reality, if they do this right with the distribution and handle it properly, they're going to make a lot more money than that tax deduction would be worth. And that's the point. And I think Tom's right. Let's say James Gunn came in and said, hey, I was a producer on this. I think this thing's pretty good. I don't know why you guys are canceling it for a $30 million deduction when we can distribute it out. If we don't want to deal with it ourselves, then it's a win-win situation. I'll tell you this, man. I have seen every Looney Tunes freaking thing. I have the platinum set. You know what I mean? Like I love this stuff. And the idea of Coyote taking Acme to court, geez, it is just thinking about it is hilarious.
It is. And Warner Brothers, look, Warner Brothers cartoons are the greatest cartoons ever made, period. I mean, nothing comes close. Nothing even remotely comes close. The genius of these short gems, sprang from, the fact that, the animators were stuck in a kind of ramshackle bungalow on the Warner Brothers lot. They called it termite terrace. It was, it was falling apart. They didn't monitor them. They just needed to turn in, 8 minutes worth of, cartoon for this feature. And as long as they stayed, on more or less on track and, didn't have naked chicks running around or shit like that, they were fine with it. And so these animators were able to play and have fun and entertain themselves and make themselves laugh. And that's why these things are legends. And Chuck Jones, the Coyote Roadrunner cartoons are some of the greatest out of all those Warner Brothers cartoons. They're like the creme de la creme. Not a word is said. Not a word is needed to be said. They're like the Coyote is a classic comedian, like, Charlie Chaplin, Harold Lloyd, all of these silent stars didn't need, any kind of fucking dialogue at all, and so I love this stuff. And James Gunn, by God, is the guy to write this, so I want to see it. And it looks like maybe we're going to actually see it. Did I say anything wrong there about Warner Brothers? Anybody disagree that those are the greatest goddamn cartoons ever made?
I totally agree. The only thing I think it sucks is they haven't utilized them enough in the last 20 years to grow a new fan base. That's the sad part. I mean, they don't have nearly the footprint they used to in Hollywood, sadly. And it's the same thing with the Disney characters, just lack of usefulness. And then when they did use them, they were in poor ways, like Space Jam 2.
Right.
About 10 years ago, I saw a new Bugs Bunny and Friends cartoon, and they were all living in an apartment together like fucking friends, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really, really bad.
Right. I mean, that's the problem, Tom. Is that there's no Chuck Jones.
They took away Elmer Fudd's gun. Remember that?
They did what?
Took away Elmer Fudd's gun.
A couple years ago, they took away Elmer Fudd's gun.
Yeah.
I can't have my gun anymore because I'm full of white wage.
6 figures as well.
Yeah.
Instead, they gave him an axe.
Yeah, because those don't kill anybody.
Yeah.
It used to be funny when I went out in drag. Now it's just a political normality.
So,
Hold still, Mr. Wabbit, so I can hack you with this axe.
Hey, what did Yosemite Sam have? A fucking samurai sword, a katana.
Yeah.
You look out! I got great nunchucking skills. I'm the best nunchucker in the West.
The funny thing also was always Yosemite Sam and how you could almost think that he was about to curse. And I hate that freaking rabbit, but I wonder what they would give him. What are you going to do with that? How are you going to get this back without doing that stuff? Those were classics. When Yosemite Sam would go after Bugs Bunny and all the different time periods that they did it, those were amazing. I love those cartoons.
They're the best, but unfortunately, I have not seen a modern iteration of any Warner Brothers. And there's been a few, there's been some stuff and tries at revivals, but none of them have had the magic. I don't know what it is. I mean, even with Ren and Stimpy, John Kricfalusi was absolutely fucking brilliant in the original season on Nickelodeon. And then when he came back, Ren was gay and there was all this weird shit going on. It was fucking awful. Really.
Guys out there in TV land, if you have not seen the Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon, do not watch it.
Yeah.
Don't watch it.
It'll just break your heart, man.
It's the worst. Yeah.
Didn't they cancel Pepe Le Pew too, saying he was like a stalker and
Is it toxic male?
Yeah.
They canceled Speedy Gonzalez too.
Yep. Yeah, those poor bastards.
Pepe Le Pew hit me especially hard because, he was my trainer in my modern dating strategy.
He's your spirit animal, man.
Yeah.
Spirit animal.
No, that's one of the best scenes in Looney Tunes Back in Action when you got Speedy Gonzalez and Pepe Le Pew and I can't remember who else all sitting at a table and they're like, political correctness sucks.
That's absolutely true.
Because that was their only time in the movie. The rest of the time they're left out of the movie because one's too, loving and the other one's a stereotype instead. And
But
he was too loving.
Was loved among Hispanics, though, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Well,
we love him. He's like a national treasure. He's like, that's why I'm telling. I always say all the time. Speedy Gonzalez is the real Flash.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. Well, okay. Anybody else have anything to say about this? Otherwise, before we go to some super chats. No, I'm excited about it. I really want to see it. And
sounds interesting for sure.
Yeah, the premise sounds good. So
I'm praying to God that the stuff that these people are saying about it's scoring high and moving people like that. I hope it's true. I sure could use another classic.
Well, it does say a lot that Zaslav turned around and said they could put it out for sale instead of putting his foot down with Batgirl, because they tried to do the same thing there and he's like, hell no.
Right.
Well,
Batgirl. It's just
well, that's the beauty of it, is there's probably no connection to this and anything else to where there's no real reason that the animation director could give that they're like, well, why can't it go to Amazon? Right? Who gives a shit? It's not going to connect to your new thing. Nobody cares.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's go ahead and do a few super chats here then. Folks, let's see. Mr. Eagle Flying with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Mr. Eagle Flying. Says, too tired to stay long tonight, but thank you for being here. Thank you for being here as well, my friend. We really appreciate you. And it's been a good show so far. I hope that you're enjoying it. Michael Maloney with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Michael. Man, he's been a long time friend of the channel and friend of mine. And God bless you, Michael. He says, the Marvels failed because we don't like strong whammon. Oh my God. That's the narrative, even though 65% of the fucking audience was men, but never mind. I think the Marvels actually failed because women don't like strong women. It really, they stayed away. So what are you going to do? Evan Peterson, who's been a Dominion of mine for 2 months. Thank you, Evan. Says, I just noticed this. What should I say? I don't know. Hello? Hi? How you doing, Evan? I don't know what I don't know what you mean. I just noticed this. What should I say?
Say boobs. Yeah.
That's right.
Both of them.
That's right. Put a chick in it. Make it gay.
All right. Thank you,
Yeah,
Evan
those are
Peterson.
lame.
Make it lame. That's their specialty. Taylor Swift greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU with a $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says, to quote the great Taylor Swift lyric, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Congratulations, Disney, LOL. That's what you have done. Well said. Well said. Taylor Swift greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU. I would agree with that statement, by the way, and I've never listened to Taylor Swift, but clearly she's greater. So what can I say? And Casey Osowski, again, I want to thank you so much for that $200 super chat, brother. Welcome back. I just want to say that again for Casey. I've missed him a lot. And Taylor Swift, greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU, again with another $5 super chat. Thanks, my friend. Says, they think toxic fanboys have this magic power to tank female lead films. Okay, then how did Barbie and Evil Dead Rise, Taylor Swift all make money then? Logical. Flawlessly logical. Wow. I didn't know Taylor Swift greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU was a Vulcan, but clearly they've got this logic thing kicked, man. They whipped that shit into shape. Well done, Taylor Swift. And the Guardian of Azarath with a £5 super chat. Thank you, Guardian of Azarath. Says, it's funny how they're blaming men for failure of the Marvels, when according to a survey that was done, 65% of the total people who saw it were men. Yep. The truth is a strange thing, man. It's just such a toxic thing. I guess the truth is toxic. What can we say? And speaking of toxic truth, welcome Andy Masterson. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing?
I'm very toxic, thank you.
Yeah, good to see you. I don't know what that noise is, though.
Andy, you got a hot mic, Andy. Hot mic.
There you go. It sounded like he was mixing up a Mai Tai or something. I don't know, one of those tropical drinks or some shit. It was like a blender. Anyway, let me see. Evan Peterson had a $5 super chat, and then he retracted the message, and I'm not sure why you did that, Evan, but we appreciate the donation just the same, sir. Thank you very much.
Since we kind of owe him something, so I'll just say the answer is 12.
The answer is 12. Okay, he says the answer is 12.
Whatever it was.
Whatever it was. I thought the answer was 42, but I'm old.
It could be 42, but this case, I think I'm confident. I don't know what he was asking, but I think the answer was 12.
He is channeling truth from beyond. Juan Two Tree with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Juan. Says there's more evidence for the existence of Bigfoot than the modern audience Hollywood has been chasing. I gotta.
This is a scientific fact, actually.
Yep. I've seen photographs of Bigfoot. I've seen movie footage of Bigfoot. I ain't seen no goddamn hide nor hair of this modern audience that Hollywood's chasing. They're too busy being outraged and tweeting in their jammies to go out and support movies. It's just they're not really interested in stories. They're just interested in propaganda and virtue signaling. They don't really care about this stuff like we do. They're appealing to the wrong audience. They're barking up the wrong tree. Detroit S2 with a $2 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says, hail Doomcock. I say hail to you, Detroit S2. Hail to you, my friend. And Matthew Salkowski with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Matthew. Says, hail Doomcock. Is there going to be a Red Dwarf prequel? I'd be very, very surprised if there was a Red Dwarf prequel. Nothing happens, before Red Dwarf. I mean, the whole point is that, everybody's dead and, they're completely alone on this ship. And what's it going to be? Well, it would just be basically, Lister and, Rimmer just kind of farting around doing their janitorial shit. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. If anyone else has, let me know. But I mean, I love Red Dwarf. I love it to death. But I don't think it really calls for a prequel. I don't know.
I
What
think
do
there was
what do
talk of some animated prequel. I think that's why he's asking, but I'm not 100% sure. Something in my back of my brain just triggered that for some reason.
Huh.
Like months
Wonder what
ago
the hell
or
it
a
would
year
be.
ago, maybe. I don't know. I thought I heard something like there was supposed to be some revival deal going on, though, but I think it was supposed to be animated. I'm not under somebody. That might be what he's asking for, though.
Well, I wouldn't mind a revival, but a prequel is kind of weird. You know, I mean, it just doesn't make much sense to me. Brian Telesh is a new channel member at the Dominion level. Thank you, Brian Telesh. Telesh, not Tre. Brian Telesh, I believe is the way you pronounce it. I hope I'm right, Brian. Thank you, sir. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you, my friend. Green Hat with a $5 super chat. Thank you. Green Hat says, please ask your spies about the rumor that Bob Iger might be doing something to the statue of Walt Disney. Hashtag dang it, Bob. What? What could he be doing to the statue? Kind of reminds me of that song. We stroll again into the park and goose the statues in the dark. If Sherman's horse can take it, why can't you? Hell to you, Green Hat.
Has he been using the statue like that one in France where people use it for you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fertility statue, they call it.
Yeah. Well, maybe, he was inspired by people pooping in line at Disney World and in Disneyland. That's been an article that's gone over and over and over again across many outlets. Apparently people are pooping in line at Disney World.
Well, when you gotta go, I guess. I just figured I could picture Bob going up to the Walt Disney, statue and just rubbing it softly and going, I need a little bit of that luck right now. Can you help me out here, Walt?
That's right. He's kind of reaching behind and rubbing, Walt Disney's nipples and saying, come on now.
What do you need, Daddy? What do you need?
Give it to me. Thank you, Green Hat. You may be correct. I will ask the spies about that rumor. I haven't heard anything, but I wish I hadn't heard anything now. It's disturbing.
Yeah, no shit.
Especially when Mickey is just so conveniently waist high. Why bother Walt? Go ahead, have a turn at the rat, why don't you? Muzzle Velocity gifted 5 Overlord DVD memberships to this channel. God bless you, Muzzle Velocity. Thank you so much for that, sir. Now, this is a weird one. Bruce Wayne, who's been a Dumentite of mine for 15 months. Thank you, Bruce Wayne, says, have you heard that Pedro Pascal either is cast or about to be cast as Mr. Fantastic? What is everyone's opinion about this? If this is true, it sucks. Look, I like Pedro Pascal, but he ain't no Reed Richards. He just isn't.
Rita Ricardo.
Yeah, Rita Ricardo. I mean, I don't like it. I think that's a terrible miscast. I haven't heard a damn thing about it, but it doesn't surprise me since, obviously the whole genius behind the thing now is going to be Sue Storm, scientist, invisible girl, girl power icon. It's going to be more of the same fucking shit. These morons.
It was actually news that just broke here a little bit ago. Yeah, it's coming from many outlets, so I guess it's got some credence to it.
Yeah, I think it's a big mistake. What do you think? Are you a fan of the Fantastic Four? I am a huge fan.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan, and in fact, as much as I hate Pedro Pascal as a person, he's one of those few guys that I will say is a good actor. But
yeah,
I'm not quite sure I see the choice here necessarily.
No.
No.
The perfect Reed Richards. Unfortunately, I mean, it wouldn't be true anymore. But the perfect fucking Reed Richards was in Mars Attacks. Right? It was Pierce Brosnan. Remember?
Back in the day, he would have made a great.
Yeah, he'd have been really good.
He'd have been perfect. He was like Reed Richards.
Yeah.
You know, then they cut his head off, and you know his girlfriend's head was put on the Chihuahua. Mars Attack's a great fucking movie. I love that fucking thing. Vintage Gamer. Why am I echoing?
Got some echo, guys.
Somebody on the panel has another window open.
Yes, please close it. VintageGamer.com, who's been a Dominion for 2 months now. Thank you, Vintage Gamer. Says, appreciate you guys a lot. You remind me I'm sane. Thank you, VintageGamer.com. I know the feeling, man, because I thought I was losing my mind when I started this channel. Everybody was, you know, praising, you know, STD and the goddamn, you know, mainstream media. And yeah, I was just isolated. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because that goddamn thing I saw is not Star Trek. It's not fucking Star Trek. It made me fucking furious. And thank God that there was intelligent life out there that I reached through my channel, and all of you guys, that you guys keep me sane as much as I keep you sane. So let's stay sane together. Stone Racket's been an arch villain of mine for a year now. Thank you, Stone Racket. Hail to you, sir. And he's got a quote. He says, "The heck with the Marvels. We want a review of that 8-hour cat cafe that was used to promote this worthless film. Chico and I just loved watching the cat cafe." Says Harpo Mark's cat. So Stone Racket's cat sent that. Thank you very much, Harpo. Maybe we can, you know, get a recording of that somewhere and put it on a loop for them. Could you make that happen, Stone Racket? I think that they would be very, very happy. Casey Osowski, arch villain of mine for 42 months now. God bless you. Casey says, DC, you're the best. I'm in it forever. I am glad, Casey. I am so goddamn glad you're back, man. So glad you're back. Troy Neenan with a $2 Australian super chat. Thank you, Troy. He says, did you watch Digital Circus and Last Unicorn? I have almost done it, dude. No, I'm not kidding. I was about to watch it. I was all queued up to do it, and then I got something came up and I had to stop. But you know, you have permeated my consciousness. I am definitely watching The Amazing Digital Circus. It's just a matter of time, but I promise you I'm on it. In The Last Unicorn, I couldn't quite remember, like, I saw this thing that looked ghastly. I was searching for some kind of unicorn thing, and I couldn't remember if it was Last Unicorn or Lost Unicorn or whatever. So now it's Last Unicorn. I will also put that on the menu. But Amazing Digital Circus is coming. I almost got it. It's on the radar. It's going to happen. I promise. Cesario JPN, who's been a Dominion of mine for 37 months now. Thank you, Cesario. Says the Marvel's Cat Cafe was better than the movie. What the fuck is this Cat Cafe? So it's just
you don't
video.
know?
No, I didn't see it, obviously.
Oh, so the official Marvel channel, leading up to the release of the Marvels, whatever.
Yeah.
Had an 8-hour live stream where they had kitty cats inside of like a cafe, and they were just watching the kitty cats run and play. So it was, imagine like here in my place, I had like 15 or 20 cats running around, and the camera is just looking at the cats.
Oh my goodness.
That was on the official Marvel channel, Marvel Entertainment on YouTube.
Was that what they were really promoting at the Sphere in Las Vegas?
Yeah, you guys think I'm kidding? This is who's stewarding your marketing dollars here. Andy, Mike's hot.
I just muted him temporarily. Sorry, Andy. I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay, well that's bizarre. I'm sure it's better than the Marvels, though. You know?
Nah, I was there. I was trying to. They wouldn't ban me, but I was sure trying. I was doing some dang it Bob in there, and yeah.
So is that basically coded sexism? I mean, if I was a woman, I would be insulted. You know? I mean, it would be like, you know, I mean, look, this is an all-woman movie, and what are they showing?
Kitty cats.
Pussycats.
Yep.
Pussycats running around.
Yeah,
what does that mean?
It means exactly.
If it had been like, all male cast, right? And they showed a stream of nothing but wiener dogs running around, I would take umbrage to that as well. So I'm just wondering.
I actually saw the movie. It is like a movie that is put together by a group of 8-year-old girls.
You mean the Marvels?
Yes.
Oh, you saw it.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Are you? Well, I tell you what. Then, do you have to run real quick, or you got?
I've got maybe 10 more minutes. I was hoping to talk about Police Academy since it's one of my favorite films of all time, but no.
Okay. Well, all right.
I can tell you what I felt about the Marvels. It was a piece of shit. Okay, you have a movie where if nobody's worried about spoilers, I'll tell you real quick what the whole movie's about.
All right. Let's move into the segment about talking about the movie, and we'll let Tom kick it off because I am interested in that. Go ahead, Tom.
Well, first of all, it's not really as woke as you'd think it would be. Whatever woke was in this movie was probably cut out, along with the other hour and a half of the movie.
Exactly, but that's the problem.
Yeah, and there's not enough male characters to really consist of going, well, they were just mean to men. No, because there's only like 1.5 male characters in the whole movie. And I'm not kidding about the half. Like her husband, Captain Marvel's husband, I didn't know that was a dude till I saw the movie.
I
thought that was a chick. Okay, so basically it starts out, you have this chick called Dar-Ben, who's a Kree, I guess. Mm-hmm. And somehow, some way, she got a hold of Ronan the Accuser's Warhammer and put it back together. Doesn't explain it. Doesn't even show that she had to put it back together. In fact, I think they forgot that Star-Lord destroyed it. Or actually, I should correct myself. Drax and Rocket destroyed it. But anyway, that being said, so all of a sudden she has it. It still has powers. No explanation whatsoever. And she gets the harebrained idea. Get this. She is going to take a note from Spaceballs and steal the Skrulls' air and their atmosphere and all that shit because because Captain Marvel 30 years ago, she is the villain of this movie, really, actually. Captain Marvel is. 30 years ago, she destroyed their AI that was keeping their planet together. So after she destroyed it, she made their planet unlivable.
What the fuck they were talking about, but go ahead.
Yeah, so she made their planet unlivable. And this is the reason why she hasn't returned to take care of Monica Rambeau like she promised her to. So they're alienated from each other. But that doesn't matter anyway, because through some convolution that they don't really explain to you, as you saw in the trailers, the girls flip-flop as the story needs it, not really consistently whenever they use their powers, because of whatever this Dar-Ben chick's been doing, because she's going through portals and not closing them and shit like that. That's the best I could equate out of this. So a bunch of stupid shit happens. They have a bunch of girly moments. They figure out they got to work together. Brie Larson, or Captain Marvel, finally confesses to fucking up this whole planet, basically. And then they go and they got to figure out how to beat Dar-Ben and save all the Kree. So it's this huge fucking thing going on there. They go to this musical planet, and that's really where I lost interest. And Brie is married to this dude through a political marriage, right? What? So they have a sexless, loveless marriage, okay? But everybody on the planet is in like some racist fucking Bollywood movie, okay? Like the whole planet, that's what they do. You can't talk to each other. They sing to each other.
Oh, my God.
Like Brie Larson definitely came up with that part. I guarantee you. Anyway, so then they go from there, because that scene could have been completely cut because there's no real reason for it to be there. Then they go and they save everybody, and it kind of becomes the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 all over again. Only this time, instead of trying to evacuate everybody from a planet, it's trying to evacuate everybody from one of the space stations and all this other shit. And they figure out, oh, Flurkins can eat stuff, and when they eat stuff, it stays inside them, and whatever size they are, it doesn't matter, right? So there's a whole bunch of Flurkin kittens that are all over the fucking space station, so they eat everybody so they can get them in a small ship and get them out of there. And yeah, it's Captain Marvel reignites the sun after Dar-Ben destroys it, and she saves the fucking day, and she's perfect. And then fucking Monica Rambeau goes to close the thing that's opened up, but she goes through the door and closes it while she's on the other side like an idiot, instead of closing it from this side. So then she's in the X-Men universe, and they're gonna start a Girls Avengers. Because Miss Marvel met up with what's her face, Kate Bishop. Now notice I didn't say jack shit all about Miss Marvel. That's because they really don't tell you shit about her character through the whole movie. No, all you know is she's got some major hero worship, and that's about it. They don't give you any background in the character. So guess what? If you have not seen WandaVision, Secret Wars, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and I think there's like one or two other things, you are going to be completely fucking lost. Okay, because on that part. But overall, the story is so stupid, and it's the same plot as Spaceballs, so it don't matter.
I
have one question. This opening has been catastrophic. Every Thor 4 has been catastrophic. Pretty much everything they've done has been catastrophic, and you're putting the Sue Storm, Pedro Pascal, and Fantastic Four out there now. No one has learned a goddamn thing. Like, it has cost them over $1 billion, and no one's realized, hey, maybe it's our messaging. I mean, they're going to keep going. And I just saw a headline on Twitter with they're going to put Javier Bardem as Galactus.
Galactus with his all powerful cattle shot thing, like from No Country for Old Men. Galactus puts the giant cattle bolt shooter to the planet and it kills it. Yeah, that's
Good
fucking
God.
stupid. These people, you're right, Andy, they have not learned a goddamn thing. And Pedro Pascal is not Reed Richards. Sorry.
No.
He just is not.
You need somebody nerdy, stuffy. If that guy from almost looking like, not, it's way off base, but almost like Sheldon from the Big Bang thing, somebody who looks kind of thin but like could pass for intelligent and stuff like that, and very contemplative and stuff like that. Not Mr. Dower Pascal, who's like, let me put on another side. Yeah, he's a good actor, but like he's another one that like he's got limited roles. He's kind of like there's not a whole lot that I've ever seen him play that like and maybe it's just what I've seen him in. I heard he's really good in that Nicolas Cage movie, but that's not, if they have a chance to redeem themselves here, and what they would have to do is do a Jack Kirby faithful adaptation of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I've said it a lot. I've said it over and over and over again that they need to have a Marvel pop art universe that is absolutely set in the 60s, and they all dress up like the original comic book characters. It's all kind of a little bit campy, a little bit funny. It appeals to all ages without all of the heavy, darkness and shit. It's very bright colored, exciting, and fun. And I would go for that all day long. I would see every one of those goddamn movies 20 times. That would be the way to do it, but that's not what they're going to do. Tom, what do you want to say about Police Academy before you got to go, man? I know you love that movie.
Well, hopefully I helped Gary out. I sent him as much as I could on the subject of at hand. But no, Police Academy is a great franchise. It's the kind of shit Hollywood used to make that they don't make anymore.
Yeah,
one of the rare franchises that's comedy that happened to be just as big or bigger in other countries than the U.S. because the physical humor translates so well.
Yeah,
and I mean, I'm not stuck here, but like Mahoney, you guys are, and as Lassard says, aren't we all?
yeah.
No, I wish I could stick around for that conversation because I do love the Police Academy films quite a bit. So
I'm sorry,
you help
couldn't,
a lot,
man.
Tom. That was a hard movie to find stuff about. Really hard movie. You wouldn't think it would be, but it's a hard movie to find good notes.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not like a horror franchise or a superhero franchise to where, you have a bunch of the nerds who really dig into it. But
yeah,
I mean, us guys who grew up with it, it's a cornerstone of comedy, and I mean, it's like the Friday the 13th franchise of comedies. I mean, almost every year in the 80s, Warner Brothers just kept pushing them out, and they kept making money.
Yeah,
right.
So, I mean, people enjoyed them. I mean, I enjoyed them up through about 4 or 5. After that, not so much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
But anyway,
I'm looking forward
you guys
to
have fun
talking about it.
Yeah.
But thanks for popping in, Tom. I mean,
Yeah.
really appreciate it, and appreciate
No
the
problem.
insights on the whole Coyote versus Acme thing.
Yeah, I hope it's good. I really do, because when I heard the what it was about, I was hoping so. So
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about it, but knowing now that Gunn is involved in it, I think he's the perfect guy to write something like that. He's at best when he's doing funny, warm stuff. like Guardians of the Galaxy or Peacemaker. So, yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Well, have fun, guys. I gotta head out for you.
All right, Tom. Thanks a lot,
Tom.
man.
Thanks
We
for having me.
appreciate you.
Take care. See you guys later.
See you later,
Good
brother.
night.
Douglas, it sounds to me from what Tom said that I escaped that fucking theater at exactly the right time. That I fled the fucking theater. I sensed the Grim Reaper. Like before I got away from the Bollywood planet and all the singing.
Yeah.
Fuck me, man. I dodged a bullet. I was fucking Neo, and those bullets are just going by, leaving tunnels in the air. And I'm just weaving like one of those
Right.
inflatable guys out at tire places, you know?
Hey, Doug,
Well, yes.
do the Flurkins have buttholes?
Yeah, they never answered that. They need a butthole cut.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper
mean-
or the Grim Squeaker.
yeah.
All they
I
ever
think it was the
do
Grim
is
Squeaker.
they puke everything up. They don't ever, I guess if they did, then that's the end for you. I don't know.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But
Well,
what is your review of this debacle, Douglas?
Well,
You
on
can
the
compare
musical
notes.
interlude, at least it was thankfully very brief. So I suspect that's another thing that got cut down severely.
They
So,
put the
You
Brie in
just see it.
brief.
One of the most positive reviews of the Marvels. Not as long as other Marvel films.
yes, yeah, that is the best part.
And
of
thank
the
God
Marvels.
for it.
Yeah. So I mean, it was hopeless. It was just so stupid, and all that. And then the it's like Tom's right. You would have had to have seen all that other stuff to understand any of these people. There's no real setup for it, and that's one of the big. Of the three, the only ones that got a real full-on background story was Miss Marvel, which is a show other than me and a few others. Nobody saw that thing.
Right.
But there was a full laid out detailed thing about her and everything. You knew who she was and everything. Captain Marvel didn't even get that. And it's another thing about that. She's supposed to be this, hero worshiping character, but they've never really established Captain Marvel as a superhero that anybody on Earth really knows. I mean, she's briefly there to help in the fight against Thanos, and then she's gone again. You at least needed like some, I don't know, news footage or something like that, like they did with poor Superman in The Flash, where he's saving people from a volcano. Well, you could have had something like that. Like, yeah, she's around and she does stuff here and there, but nothing. And yet this girl is just gaga for her. How does she even know her?
Right.
She also seemed to know Nick Fury, who's supposed to be the ultimate secret agent. How do you know who he is? Now, had you watched all the shows, which, yes,
You
I
poor
did.
bastard.
including Secret Invasion, Secret Invasion, and Secret Invasion, it's night and day. That this is two different Nick Furies. He's all depressed and dour and everything in that show, and then it concludes with him going back to the spaceship, and here he is on the space station rather, and he's he's a happy, fun, go lucky guy. He's playing with the cat that blinded him, all this type of stuff, and eventually they reveal that. Oh, there's this colony planet for the refugees of Skrulls. Their emperor lives there as well. They got a fairly nice little city they've built there and everything. Yet the whole plot of Secret Invasion was this break-off sect of the Skrulls that were angry that Nick Fury didn't find them a place to live. I guess they just didn't tell them about a planet they found. I don't know. But of course, What's-Her-Face shows up with the vacuum cleaner to suck all their air out, and oh well. So I guess it's for the best that they stayed on Earth to become, terrorists or whatever. But anyway.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that Marvel Comics, the MCU, Disney, the whole plot of this movie is they want to find a planet for the Skrulls to colonize?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Yes.
Isn't that a bad?
Dirty word.
It looked like it only had like some shrubbery and stuff. Maybe some yeah. So I guess you can colonize that.
Indigenous shrubberies, Doug. Indigenous shrubberies.
Well, it's okay, Andy. They still refer to themselves as refugees, even though they found a home. So
Even though Brie Larson's the one that, like, okay, so the artificial intelligence that apparently she's after. So this was over
Yeah.
for the Kree, or
yeah,
the
well, she
Skrulls?
went back apparently, and I guess this was like 20 years ago. She went back to get revenge on the Supreme Intelligence, which was the ultimate villain that she faced in her original movie. And she went back and destroyed it. And as a result, it destroyed the Kree homeworld. Their sun went out. Ever, which, all right, and then she's like, God, they're still upset about that.
They're so petty.
Yeah. So you could have at least, all you really needed was a revenge plot from the villain against Captain Marvel. And instead of all this, I'm going to suck the air out.
So wait a minute, the hero of the movie destroyed a whole civilization for revenge off screen.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they do show it a little bit.
Well,
in a flashback.
flashback, right?
Well, she saw it as liberating them from the Supreme Intelligence, but as a result, they were all dependent on it. So, of course, well, she never saw Star Trek, so the Prime Directive doesn't play here. So really, the villain here actually has a pretty good point. A serious grievance against Captain Marvel.
Right. This bitch just went around and destroyed our son.
Yeah. But it's okay, because in the end, Monica Rambeau tells Carol, hey, you could probably reignite their son. Oh, she literally says, I didn't know I could do that.
Oh, God.
And so she does, because, she's greater than Superman.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so
Superman didn't really destroy civilizations, though. So maybe that whole greatness issue is...
Yeah, he was concerned about not doing that sort of thing.
Right. Not genocide. Superman.
Yeah, so I mean, yes, like Tom said, the woke factor is quite muted in comparison. Certainly, like in Captain Marvel, the first film, where she literally assaults a man, cripples him, steals his clothing and motorcycle, because he asked her to smile.
Right.
And so there's
that
not
was
a
one of the
whole lot
worst
of that
things ever.
Yeah, other than the belittling of Nick Fury, I guess, because he's hanging out with the cats through most of the movie, including the one again that blinded him.
Not really a great idea. It doesn't really seem like something a guy would do if a cat put his eye out, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be, petting him and stuff like that, but he does. Yeah. Well, it's been like 30 years or whatever, so he's gotten over it, I guess. Yeah, and then the cats. Oh, we got to evacuate, but we don't have enough escape pods, which you didn't think of that. But they don't have enough. But the cats are there to suck them all up inside their guts, which is another dimension or something. But needless to say, the crew are very terrified of this idea. So they got to chase them down. Miss Marvel chases some of them down. They trick them into getting sucked up by the cats. It's good fun. So anyway, then they escape, and the cats puke them all up back on Earth. That's good. And so, and then they have a fight in this room, and their final battle with, the Hammer Girl, who is a gender swap. In the comics, that's a man, but
okay,
of course.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they did. You think they would want the girls to beat the crap out of a man, but maybe they decided, well, let's rein that in a little. Tessa Thompson comes in to put the brakes on the scene.
So they put a chick in it, and
yes. And there's a very passionate embrace between her and Captain Marvel. I suspect a good bit of that scene was cut out to reveal they probably were dating, despite her being married to the prince. But that was just a political thing, and he's only in there for 5 seconds anyway. And then, but she shows up, but she couldn't be bothered to wear her Valkyrie outfit. She's still wearing her Men in Black suit. So anyway, she popped in and said, hey, I'll take all the refugees. They can live with us in New Asgard, which is Norway, which I don't know if the Norwegians have a say in this or not. So
no, they don't.
Skrulls are all moving to Norway. So that's where they are now. And
where they
there you go.
Ape trees and ice flows and spread all over the planet. Great.
Yeah.
Good idea.
That'll work out, because like Nick Fury knows it worked out the first time, didn't it, Nick? Yeah, sure did. Yeah. So anyway, and then of course they have to fight what's her face, and she gets the magical bracelets, which if you didn't see Ms. Marvel, you didn't know what that was, but whatever. And almost destroys reality, rips a hole in it or whatever. So Monica says, I've got to close that door. But for some reason, she had to close it on the other side. So she's in another universe, which turns out to be the X-Men universe. And I don't know why they don't explain that or anything. And so she wakes up in bed. Her mom's alive in that universe, and she's in the costume. She's a superhero called Binary. Now in the comics, that was Carol Danvers. They gave up the Ms. Marvel name. They tried to change her into something else, so she was the Binary superhero. Which by now, I'm surprised they didn't change it to non-binary to be careful about that, but they didn't. But now in this universe, Monica's mother is that character, and the Beast shows up, and you see the X-Men symbol on the wall, so you know where she is, more or less, and all of that. But it was that's it. Oh, and of course, Kamala breaks into Kate Bishop's home, and Reed does the same lines that Nick Fury did to Tony Stark at the end of Iron Man. For I'm forming a team and all this sort of stuff, and Kate Bishop is like, yeah, whatever, okay. I mean, some strange person has broken into your home. You fight crime all the time. You think she would have at least fired off an arrow at her or something. But anyway, so the girls are going to make their own team, and that'll be great and good fun. And I know you feel bad you missed it, but there's more to come, I'm sure. So seems like there was something else, but
all right,
I'm blanking on it now. But
did female Loki have a cameo in there?
No,
there was a rumor that she was gonna have a cameo.
Maybe she did, and they cut it out. There was a lot cut out, and I mean, you could see the reshoots in it as well. And I mean, there's some scenes of the Brie flying around look terrible. So
all right, I got something to say about all this. I was a little restrained on my review. I was trying to do a professional job, but I got something I want to say. First part of this movie is not that it is woke. It is not simply that the effects are shoddy. It's not simply that you have to have watched a whole bunch of other shit to kind of know what the fuck is going on in it. The greatest sin of this fucking movie is it is boring as shit. And that is why I left after 47 minutes of my life was spilled in that theater. God damn it. The worst thing that you can do, worse than woke, worse than defiling a character, worse than The Last Jedi, is to bore the living shit out of me. That is the unpardonable fucking sin. Nobody goes to a theater to pay money to be as bored as they would be sitting and watching a string of endless progressive commercials on the goddamn cable. This thing, just absolutely pointless, worthless bullshit. Even the so-called action scenes are completely wasted. Completely, because they're all popping in and out, doing this, popping in, popping out, just wherever the fuck it's convenient. So you can't even keep track of what's going on. Forget about the axis of confrontation and shooting this shit. It's jumping everywhere. It is impossible to be at all emotionally engaged in this fucking movie. It's absolutely impossible. You don't care about these goddamn characters. They're all interchangeable. They're literally fucking interchangeable. All of them. They're just popping in and out, and it's utterly disjointed. It's disorienting, and it's stupid too. It's really fucking stupid. Like Brie Larson, at one point in the movie, Brie Larson launches up into the sky using her powers, and then fucking Ms. Marvel swaps places with her, and Ms. Marvel can't fly, apparently. I don't know. I didn't watch Ms. Marvel. But anyway,
No,
she starts falling, and then fucking, Nick Fury says to Monica Rambeau, "You need to fly now." And it's like, I don't know how to fly. And it's like, use your black girl power. And then she can fly. Of course, the whole fucking problem with that is that all that Ms. Marvel needs to do is just use her powers and then swap with somebody else. I mean, Jesus Christ, they're not even paying attention to their own fucking movie.
Nope.
It's garbage. It's just fucking garbage. God damn it. You know, I hated Solo worse than I hated The Last Jedi because Solo was so mind-numbingly nothing, just boring, awful, just shit. It just made me very aware of the creeping, like, sands of time. Like when you're just praying for the sweet release of the fucking end credits. Because there's nothing there. That's the Marvels is the same goddamn thing. There wasn't anything good or engaging in this confusing goddamn pastiche of a goddamn parody of a goddamn Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. This is the worst one. I didn't even see the Eternals, so I can't definitively. It's the worst one I ever saw. I completely skipped the Eternals. I skipped Shang-Chi. I skipped Doctor Strange and the, Mouths of Madness and Mountains of whatever the fuck it was called. I skipped all that shit. I skipped Quantumania. So, I can't decisively say, but this is, I don't see how anyone could see anything of worth in this fucking piece of shit. Literally, I walked out. Okay. I mean, was there anything in there, Douglas, that was good? Because to me, this is completely fucking worthless. It's an insult. It's an insult that they put this out and expect people to pay for it.
Well, it's like I keep saying about these things. It's a film that doesn't even respect itself. And for anything worth it, there's really nothing worth there. I mean, for the Ms. Marvel show, I got a few chuckles out of her family and stuff like that because it was reminding me of parts of the show that I liked. But that's about it. But like you mentioned that scene where Ms. Marvel flies up, she's deliberately doing this, knowing she'll swap places when she activates her powers. So she does this to a young girl who cannot fly. And it leaves her falling to earth. I just like, God, no one thinks it's like Wonder Woman 84 where they had the quantum leap, sexual assault thing going on.
Right.
It's like the villain of the movie.
Yes, she very much is, and actually, and this is another thing where they disrespect us because they're not paying attention to their own storyline, where there's another scene where they're trying to evacuate the Skrulls from the planet, getting its air vacuumed away. And eventually Kamala's trying to save everybody. And then Captain Marvel says, get on the ship. We're leaving. And he says, well, there's still some more people. He says, we can only save who we can. And he, snaps at her to get her on, and they leave all these Skrulls to die, And I thought, it's like, be careful of meeting your heroes. You'll find out they're not that great. And that sort of storyline where Kamala could have realized that Captain Marvel isn't so wonderful. And then you got to have some, arc there where at the end, they lose Monica. So they kind of come together over that. But ultimately that this would cure her of her, her foolish hero worship of this woman that no one really knows. But anyway, see, just one thing after another like that, where he's like, in just basic adequate hands, you could have had a narrative here. But it was doomed from the start. I mean, they didn't, I keep going back to this. You want to weave in these new characters. You've got to do it the way the professionals did it with the likes of Black Panther and Spider-Man, and how they, seamlessly put them in there like that. And they didn't do that for Captain Marvel. She was shoehorned in. And the same is here. I mean, with these TV shows that you had to have watched and all that, and there's no real setup for a movie. You have to approach these movies as entities unto themselves. I don't care about the shared universe thing. That's cool and all when you do it right, but they have to stand alone. And this just doesn't. And it was hopeless
and pointless. And I mean, this is not a fucking movie. This is what it is.
Yeah,
just a bunch of.
I mean, I was gonna say the Eternals was worse. But technically speaking, it had more of a plot.
technically,
guess.
technically
Yeah,
speaking.
And you got some head at the end.
So
That was the square up, Andy. That was the square up. That was the live birth reel at the end. And here's some head for you. This goddamn, I'm insulted. That's why I walked out. It's just like, honestly, there's no path for redemption. You know, after 47 minutes of this utter confusion, jumbled piece of shit, stupid garbage. There was no way that they were going to rally at the, Act 3 and suddenly it was all going to be worth it. And I just said, I'm just done.
Yeah, that was it.
I'm just done. It was fucking awful. And did anyone else see this or no? Well,
you feel left out.
How many
you feel
layers?
bad, huh?
How many layers of decision makers did this thing have to go through before it got greenlit?
none.
Not enough.
Not enough. No, nobody's paying attention. Nobody. I mean, but that's the most fucked up thing, folks. The most fucked up thing is that this movie took a lot of preparation.
Yes.
I mean, they had to lay the foundation for this with Captain Marvel. They had to lay it with Ms. Marvel. They had to lay it with Secret Invasion. They had to lay it, I think, with some other thing. I forget.
WandaVision.
WandaVision, right?
Yeah.
So they were thinking it. They thought about this for a long time. And this was the best they could come up with. It was not just an accident. It wasn't just a brain fart. They planned this.
Yeah.
They had diagrams and shit.
They pursued this even though they knew they had shoehorned Captain Marvel in between their two biggest movies, with Infinity War ending with a teaser for Captain Marvel. Why that movie hit its supposed $1 billion mark. Then you got all these other programs that are they're diminishing returns. Vision that flopped. Then you got Secret Invasion, no one watched. You've got Ms. Marvel, nobody watched.
Right.
So by then you've got a pretty good idea of what's coming for you. And they kept plunging all this money into it. Then more money in it to fix it. Again, another movie they had to fix. There's no way you could not see this coming.
I did. I mean, I don't know.
Well, the only thing left, the question was, how bad is it? Well, now you know. So
it's fucking awful, folks. I'm sorry. It's just fucking awful. And I don't see a way forward for the MCU. They're just keeping just like Robert Wright. No, it's Tom. Who was saying that now, they're doing Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Who's going to be Sue Storm? Melissa McCarthy?
Holy shit.
Oh,
Leslie Jones is Sue Storm.
Oh my God, yes. That's so inspired, yes.
Just go away for a year or two and reboot the whole stupid thing. Maybe do your idea, Doomcock. Reboot the whole thing and set it in the 60s with all new cast, all new characters, all new stories, and go from there.
Yeah, shit. Just shoot the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got all this material from, decades. I mean,
yes. And adhere to them.
Yeah. At this point, DC should do the same. Just put Superman in the 40s along with Batman.
Yeah. I would love that. I would watch the shit out of that.
Superman, like in the Fleischer cartoons.
Yes.
Armies of giant robots and stuff.
Yes. Yeah. With those same kinds of designs, the clunky,
Yeah, would be cool.
And stuff. Yeah. I would eat that up.
I'd love to see Superman's take on World War II. He's from another planet. He sees us all killing each other, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?"
Right.
That would be great. I would love to see him throwing tanks around and stuff, and that would be cool.
Yeah.
Instead, what Marvel has next is Captain America 4. Well, and they're having to get. Can you guess? Yes, reshoot it.
Yeah, they're having to reshoot it. Of course, the central problem is that Captain America isn't in it.
Yeah, that's Falcon. Yes, you got Captain.
They're gonna have Orange Hulk.
There's not a
Yeah,
goddamn
they got,
thing.
they got old man Indiana Jones too, so that's good.
yeah,
He's
that'll
going
be
to
great.
become the Red Hulk or Orange Hulk. As
Great.
He's going to be the best Hulk. He's going to be tremendous.
They put the blonde wig on him and everything.
When Hulk transition, nobody cry.
But
When
I
Hulk have
specifically
sex change.
am not looking forward to this because it's basically a sequel to Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I still stand. That's their absolute worst because of the ethic they put in it, where you made Falcon sympathetic to a mass murderer, and then he turns around and lectures said mass murderer surviving victims. I mean, it was just awful.
Yeah.
They identify with the villains. These
Douglas,
writers-
you need to be Douglas. You need to do better.
I know.
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry.
Loki, yeah. It's like they do see themselves as villains because this whole ending to Loki was just that. You're just like, what?
Yeah. Well, he's God now.
Yes,
He
he's
sits
Father
on the
Time.
throne and controls the universe.
Oh my God. Okay. Robert Wright, why don't you guys, I haven't watched Loki. I watched the first one and then I was just like, the spark went out of my eyes and I just gave up.
Yeah,
Uh,
Mr.
so-
Nelson, you want to go first? And
Yeah, overall, because of the strength of the actors that are in it, I guess it's easier to watch the episodes of Absolute Nothing more so than the Marvels could deliver. But ultimately, I don't know what maybe they changed things or what because of their Jonathan Majors problems. I don't know, but basically the whole plot, and it became pretty obvious where it would end up, is that Loki takes the place of He Who Remains. So he's sitting there on the throne, yes, holding the branches of the multiverse together and keeping it alive. Because if he doesn't, it all unravels and dies. So, and Hiddleston went on the Tonight Show and said, "Well, that's it. You know, this is the conclusion of my character's arc or what have you." And but I doubt that. In order for their Secret Wars things to work, I'm thinking that he's going to have a cameo in it, because otherwise, how do you explain it when he's the one in charge of the multiverse and all that? So, and then they just, as a side note, mentioned, well, there's still some Kang variants out there. So, okay, but I guess recast or what have you, because their Jonathan Majors problem is a problem. The other rumor is that they're just going to drop Kang and swap him out with Doctor Doom. But the problem there is they haven't set Doctor Doom up yet. So, it's in a mess, and an unforeseen event like Jonathan Majors' legal problems, it just compounds the mess that they've made from the get-go. But overall, did you really need to sit through Loki? No, you did not. Most of it was them running down the hall and then turn around, run back again.
Exactly. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. And then things that just don't make any sense. It's like as if the female Loki had a point to be made. She didn't. They keep posing her there like she does. And then it just ends. And then, so and Loki's in charge now.
Yeah. So basically Loki is not Loki
No,
anymore.
he's not.
It never has been, because a villain with that kind of power, who's a god of what? Is it a god of bacon? Is it a god of rabbits?
God of
No, it's a god of mischief, right?
Yeah,
so he would have unlimited ability to indulge his appetite for mischief if he was actually Loki, which he's not on his own goddamn show. He's not really Loki. He's a hero in a Loki shape.
Yeah, because the real Loki died. Thanos killed him. And this is an alternate version of him. And even if they did this for Secret Wars purposes and suddenly he's back to being villainous, it wouldn't make any sense being consistent with the character arc that they gave him in this show. So it's just, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're making it up as they go along.
So Tim Hiddleston, actually, he's a good actor. He does it well, but I mean, it's not like he's playing Loki, because this feels like a totally different person. But he's able to control time, and then in this, he's able to freeze time. And there's one funny scene where oh, how long will it take me to learn that? Oh, hundreds of thousands of years. And then he freezes time and it says centuries later, which that was the funniest part. But basically, it's Loki kind of manipulating time, and then he realizes that he can manipulate and control the whole thing. And so he kind of sacrifices himself to become kind of father time and hold on to the time strands so that everybody has a time and the TVA is saved and the timelines are restored. And it's all this stuff. And I'm like sitting there going, well, wait a minute, this is Loki. If he had all these powers, he'd be using them for mischief. He'd be using them to control people, to control things. I don't think he'd care about the timelines, but instead they made him into like this hero. And the only thing that you get of Loki is like, there's one scene where he has the horns and it looks somewhat like Loki, but the rest of it falls flat. It's not that great a show. It's got a couple of good moments and it's somewhat entertaining. I mean, it's better than Ahsoka, but it's not saying much. But it's a flat story. You don't have a purpose to the TVA. You don't have a reason why they're trying to save everything. You don't have the main villain, Kang. Are you going to try and, is the MCU going to destroy all the different versions of Kang? Shouldn't you have some minions of him that they go after and fight and win, and then you discover that there's more? I mean, they could have done so much more with this, and it's just flat. It's nothing. And at the end, Owen Wilson's character is able to see what his life would have been like in that other timeline, which you're sitting there going, okay, well, this loses any kind of meaning to me because I don't really care. You didn't develop it. So it's flat. It's just, there's nothing to it.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I thought it would be, and that's why I stopped watching after the first episode, when really they were just running around and bamfing in and out, and there was a lot of shouting, and it was like they grew up and moved into the MCU. It's just running around, scrambling, yelling.
I mean, he who revives, his original purpose was to keep the other Kangs from existing. Once he was dead, they all came back, and that was supposed to be the big threat, that there would be this multiverse war brought on by those guys. Now that Loki takes the seat and they're saying they still exist, well, the problem is still there. So there's that all the Kangs are going to cause mischief or whatnot, unlike Loki himself being the god of mischief. And but again, I don't know that they're going to pursue that anymore because Jonathan Majors and all that sort of stuff. So but it doesn't really matter because they never really thought through their own plot. What was the point?
No, it's oops. I don't know why that happened. What happened? Stop it. Cut it out. What the fuck is going on? God damn it.
Oh,
Not
Loki's,
me.
How do I get it?
Mad.
Come on.
What is under that podium?
God damn.
Hey,
How do I-
the button, right?
What is the goddamn? All right, wait a minute. All right, maybe I've got it.
I love my camera. Look at mine, guys.
There you go.
Whoa.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Whoa. Too close.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, there we go. Jesus Christ.
Kaleidoscope.
All right, that was like a technical fuck up. Anyway, as far as Doctor Doom goes, Douglas, I mean, you were saying, they haven't really developed Doctor Doom yet. Don't worry, she's going to be just fine. All right.
I don't know what you guys are worried about. It's going to be great.
Well, you know what they have to do with that Doctor Doom armor, right? Put a chick in it.
Make her gay. Make her limp.
More than likely, yes.
Yeah.
Well, then they'll have
Her
love
and Pedro
triangle.
will be in love and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes. Gary, anything you're watching these days that you'd like to mention?
Oh, not really watching, but I just started playing some old LucasArts games.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I played Dark Forces the other day,
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
and I played Full Throttle
Oh, I don't remember that one.
all the way through. That's a cool one. It's a lot of fun. That's what I've been doing. I don't really watch much anymore. I've already seen everything I want to watch. So, I really don't watch much of anything. But yeah, I started kicking on the old classic LucasArts 90s games.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Did you ever have the Super Nintendo Star Wars games?
Yeah, sure. When I was a kid,
Yeah. I used to like to play those.
Yeah, they were fun. They were hard too.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
All those fucking Nintendo games were hard, where you would drop dead and they would return you to, where you were, 30 minutes ago, and you have to go through the whole goddamn sequence again. And yeah, that's painful.
Yeah, it
that's
sucks.
Really fucking painful. Mike, anything you're, AKA no Disney dividend, Mike? Anything you're looking at these days?
For Veterans Day weekend, I did see Amazing Digital Circus, but I'm going to hold my comments until you've seen it. I think it'll be fun to talk about. So,
Did you like it though?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
And then for Veterans Day, I saw, I rewatched all of the Band of Brothers.
Cool.
It was great. I mean, I've seen it a dozen times.
Wow.
And I think watching it again now after the last time I watched it, it's probably a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what stood out for me this time on this watch is that I've seen so much bad stuff that we've obviously reviewed on this channel. I've seen so much bad production in terms of these streaming services that it stands out how in this 10 episode Band of Brothers series, you have just prolific storytelling, amazing acting. It was such a great way for me to spend all day. I took all day Saturday off and I just did it all in one day, and it was great.
Wow. Okay, cool. Well, that's great. How about, I don't know if Nick is back. Let's go to Andy. Anything you're watching these days?
Well, after watching the new Ghostbusters trailer, I decided to go back and watch Ghostbusters 2 the other night. And, well, what a great movie. It was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to the new one coming out. I think it captures a lot of the same feeling. I'm hopeful anyway. I'm optimistic. I'm not seeing any red flags about it. Much like Gary, I'm going back and looking at some of the stuff that, like you said, I've already seen all the movies I want to see. And now, until they show me something in good faith, I'm going to be painfully cautious with everything. Although I am looking forward to Godzilla on December 1st.
Right. Yeah, me too. Also, Monarch on Netflix, that Godzilla series.
Yeah, Kurt Russell and his son play this. His son will play a younger version of him, his character in the show.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Dune 2. I'm looking forward to Argyle with Henry Cavill. That's 80 spy flick that I was talking about in my review. There's a lot of interesting stuff, but I mean, saying that you've seen all the movies you want to see is crazy. I mean, there's great movies out there that that I haven't seen, that I just haven't stumbled across yet. One of them is The American Astronaut. I've told you guys, you need to see the goddamn American Astronaut. It's fucking hilarious. It's bizarre. It's kind of a cult classic, and definitely one of my favorite movies. So I would recommend The American Astronaut. Ask Heather L. Heather L. actually tracked it down and watched it on my recommendation, and she was like thanking me and throwing catchphrases and stuff from it. It's like one of the weirdest fucking movies I've ever seen. Shot on like almost nothing, but the creativity of it is brilliant. The writing is brilliant. It's just so culty. It's bizarre. I recommend
got a copy of it on your recommendation. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh God, it's fucking hilarious. See, Heather L says it's hilarious. It is. It's so goddamn weird. You got to see it. Anyway, anyone else want to talk about what they're watching?
Yeah. So I can't wait for Napoleon to come out next week. That movie from Ridley Scott. It looks epic.
Yeah.
I love historical epics. But also, I'm looking. They dropped a trailer over the past week for the Masters of Air, which is a new World War II show done by the same people that did Band of Brothers, and it's coming out at the end of January. It's on Apple TV, and it's basically about the U.S. airmen in World War II flying over Europe, which looks cool. And then, of course, Rebel Moon trailer dropped this past weekend, which looked pretty cool. So
yeah, what do you guys think of Rebel Moon? Any of you guys? I mean, have y'all seen the trailer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer.
This was originally something that Snyder was pitching as a Star Wars project, and of course KK said, because there's actually men in it that apparently are heroic. I mean, it does have a strong female lead, but she's also leaning on strong-looking men to assist her in this fight, which is makes it a no-go for KK. But I don't know. I'm excited about it. I want to see it. It could be just more woke garbage, or it actually could be something kind of special. What do you guys think?
It's hard to gauge just based on the trailers and whatnot. It's hard to tell. It looks good, but the Snyder's films always look good. They're not, doesn't mean they are good.
That's the problem.
Sometimes he hits it out of the park. So hopefully he does it with this one. So, we'll see.
Yeah, sometimes he gets a 300, sometimes he gets a sucker punch.
Yes. Exactly.
Well said, Andy. I just think it's funny that they've taken lightsabers and made them like so much better in Rebel Moon, because they leave these cool like trails in the air and
yeah, but do they kill you if they go through you?
Oh, I bet these ones do.
I'm betting these are pretty lethal.
These look kind of lethal.
Yeah.
Be careful with them.
To me, it looks like typical woke shit. Strong female character beating the shit out of a bunch of dudes. Super ultra diverse cast against the white bad guy. Typical Netflix garbage. I'm not interested. I don't give a shit.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it may
one
well
of the
be
things, when she takes on all those guys. I mean, unless there's some explanation that she's superhuman or something, then that's a problem.
Yeah, and
I'm tired of toothpick limbed supermodels beating the crap out of Navy SEAls. It does kick you out of the movie.
Well, it's true. I mean, but again, that kind of thing can be handled well. I mean,
right? If there's some explanation,
Sarah Connor was pretty damn skinny, Linda Hamilton, but I bought that she was a badass. So I mean, it just depends on how it's done.
Look at Vasquez.
Vasquez, right?
Yeah.
Matcha. So,
one more thing, but as a palate cleanser from Loki and Secret Invasion and the Marvels, I finally finished up One Piece, and after doing all of that, it's easily the best show of the year.
Yeah,
at least of what I've seen.
Told you.
100%, Douglas. I loved every minute of it. I didn't have any bad things to say about it.
Right.
Not a damn thing. Not a one criticism, honestly, of the show. I thought it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The only criticism is, why couldn't it have been 16 episodes or 32 episodes? I mean, that's the only.
Well, that's the money they had.
But I mean, it looked like $1 million. I mean, I love the fanciful art direction, the beautiful cinematography, the physical sets. It's just great. I mean, I give it up my highest rating.
And interesting villains.
Yeah. Excellent villains. And the lead. I mean, and the diverse cast. I mean, everyone in it is great. The smallest character. Nobody, and it's not woke at all. Not at all. Nobody puts down anybody for, being a male or their race or any of that bullshit. It's completely left at the door. And that's the way to do it. So there you go, folks. All right, let's go ahead and get to a few more super chats, and then we will get to our movie of the week. Back to the super chats. They're not going to read themselves, as Wes Cagle assures me. Magnum Norse. I love that. With a $20 super chat. Thank you, Magnum Norse. Says the cone is turning into a slump or a stump. Yes, sir. The projected trajectory of the box office of the Marvels is, well, I think the Marvels needs a fluffer or something, because we need to get that curve back up on the proper 45-degree trajectory there. Thank you, Magnum Norse. Well said, sir. Well said. And hail to Big Daddy MRI, who gifted 5 Overlord DVD memberships to this channel. Thank you so much, Big Daddy MRI. You are awesome, brother. You are awesome. And Cesario JPN with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Cesario. Says that graph of the Marvels projected revenue goals cone and its misfire is worse than a Hamas rocket. Yeah, about as accurate. Thank you, Cesario JPN. I appreciate that, man. Quark's Bar. Been a Dominion of mine for 4 months. Thank you, Quark. He says, I can't believe they've done this to the MCU. I know. Such a waste of potential, of all the work that went before into developing this thing. It's a goddamn disgrace. You're 100% correct, Quark's Bar. Thank you for that. And VT31008 with a $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says, never try to understand women. Women understand each other and they hate each other. It's true. It's true. There's so much passive aggressive mean girl stuff that goes on with these groups of women. It's just the damnedest thing. You see it and it's just like, it makes you cringe. Guys will just get in each other's face and, make it quite clear. And, there'll either be a fight or no fight, but there's none of this like just creeping around and backstabbing and mean mouthing and all this kind of shit. It's kind of funny. Well said, VT31008. And Saul Shymek with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Saul. Says Bob Chapek is sipping blue Hawaiians at the beach, watching the mushroom cloud go up and going, damn, it's awesome not being in the middle of that. Yeah, I think it's true. I would absolutely say that Bob Chapek is the big winner here. He got out at exactly the right time. And, he's enjoying his money, which is what Iger and KK and Feige would do if they had a lick of fucking sense. The best revenge is living well. And, they have so much money. They should just walk away and enjoy their lives, but they're too stupid to do that. Holy shit. It's insane. And Hung Tadpole with a first-time super chat. So I'm going to read that right away. Hung Tadpole says, have you seen the Madam Web trailer? I have not. Have any of you guys seen the Madam Web trailer? I have not seen it.
Some of the best stuff the CW has done in about a year.
So it's shit, huh?
Well, there's a lot of females, and there's a male villain who's wearing a black Spider-Man costume, and apparently, you're going to have 3 super Spider Girls, and 4, I guess, 4 super Spider Girls, and she can see the future, rewind, and try it over again, and do all this stuff. Yeah, I'm not optimistic. They've done this too many times. It's like they've gone to the well too many times with this. It's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, fool me 86 times, shame on me. But apparently there's still people out there that are willing to give that a shot. I'm going to wait and see if now a miracle could happen. They could, Dakota Johnson's, she's a cute girl. She's like, she could be easy on the eyes and the other girls are really nice looking in this. They might be smart and realize that people like to look at pretty people on screen. Not like Ghostbusters 2016. But you'll have this idea and we'll see if it works. From what I'm seeing, it's more of the same. You start off with the diverse group of women. It has sort of like a what's that movie? The where they all die in weird ways. Final Destination. It has that kind of a vibe to it. But all the girls are there, and here's this one bad guy who's dressed up as a Spider-Man suit, and we'll see what happens with it. I'm not optimistic because it's got all the earmarks of all the woke bullshit. I honestly don't know. I was literally stunned when I heard this Fantastic Four news because you need in your latest failure. I mean, every single thing they've done this year has flopped except for Guardians and what Doctor Strange until people realized it wasn't really Doctor Strange. Everything's flopped. It's dead, and they're just going to keep desecrating that. And yeah, so Sony, it's a shame because Sony really has an opportunity here because they have Spider-Man. The one thing they have that's a proven moneymaker, and they're not using Spider-Man, but you're getting Craven and you're getting Madam Web.
So it sounds exactly like the Marvels. You've got the Marvel stars 3 different versions of the same goddamn character. And this one sounds like it stars 4 different versions of the same goddamn character, which is basically female Spider-Mans. Is that basically it?
Yeah, you have.
It just sounds fucking awful.
DC, you probably remember the Secret Wars comic book.
Oh yeah, I
we
read
had
that.
the Julia Carpenter, the Spider Woman, was all dressed in black, not Jessica Drew. Well, she's in it. There's another version of it's a Spider-Man derivative, but another female. There's 2 of them. I forget their names offhand, but they have them on one of the Twitter things. Like it's got their names listed as who they're playing in it. And I don't recognize the guy. He's like somebody Sim or something like that, and he's the But it's all that Spider-Verse crap going on in there, and
Okay.
I like Spider-Man being Spider-Man. I didn't like it when they made Wolverine and they made 20 different variants of Wolverine. I like one of each thing, please.
Right. All right. Well, sounds like crap, but that answers your question, my friend. And thank you for that first time super chat. Very, very honored. All right. Let's see. General Sod with a £5 super chat. Thank you, General Sod. Says the one thing missing from the South Park special was Bob Iger pointing at graphs and statistics like a weatherman and him being less intelligent. Well, maybe they'll have a, South Park joining the Panderverse special edition where we'll go ahead and get some more of that stuff, General Sod. I hope they're watching. Maybe this would be a great idea for them. Thomas M., who's been a Dominion of mine for 29 months now. Thank you, Thomas M., says, hail, Pop Culture Breakdown. You are appreciated. Thank you very, very much, Thomas M. I appreciate that. Brian Talesh with a $2 super chat. Thank you. Brian says, not in top 5 featured on Cinemark app. 5 tickets sold.
Dang, this thing is worse than tanking.
Oh man, we may see something really remarkable with this. I'm hoping, knock wood, I hope that it really is just unbelievable free fall suck. That I could use that lift. I could use that spring in my step. Joe Lamont with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Joe. Joe says, DC, Marvel gender figures are a bit off. Why? Real men like hot women, real women like hot men. The men/women in the theater are actually trans. Well, it's possible, Joe. It's possible that may be it. I don't know. I guess we'll have to get a more complete demographic breakdown, but it's an interesting hypothesis, sir.
That darn Barbie screwed everything up.
Yeah, I know. I never saw that. I didn't see it.
But the females turned out for it.
Well, I mean, they did play with Barbies, so that may have been what it was. I'm not sure. They had an actual visceral connection to the source material, so that may have made the difference. Solid Gamer 1998 with a $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says, so far the only movies I am excited for is Deadpool 3 and the rumored Dead Space movie from John Carpenter. Yeah, that could be interesting. What's really interesting is that Marvel has basically cleaned their slate out. Next year, the only thing that they're going to release in theaters is Deadpool 3. That's what I've heard. That everything else is just on hold. They said, fuck it. It's time to retool. It's time to fix everything. We may only get one Marvel movie, and that may be Deadpool. So interesting. We'll have to see if that rumor or report is true. I'm not sure where I saw it. It may have been in an article. I'm not sure. It's interesting. Stained Revenant with a very generous $19.99 super chat. Thank you, Stained Revenant. Says, as I understand it, the Marvels has great potential as a tool for interrogation. Put anyone in a padded room at the mercy of the raw, unedited version, and they'll sing to the world anything to stop the incessant boredom. Boredom is one of the worst things of all, Stained Revenant, and I think that is a great idea, although it may go against the Geneva Convention and expose the so-called interrogator to be charged with war crimes. We'll see. That's an interesting idea. Hail to Stained Revenant, and thank you very much for that super chat, sir.
Don't give Harvey any ideas, though.
I got my own ideas. I don't need any help.
All right. Well, I know he does. He really does. Most of them involve stomping, though, to be fair. TLJ Screwjob, who's been a Dominion for 14 months now. Thank you, TLJ Screwjob. Says only 35% drop for Marvels. Still just 30.5 million. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I think they're so fucked. I think they are so fucked. Roadhog 1167 with a very kind $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Roadhog. Says, is it possible for Hollywood to give us female characters that look like women and not 12-year-old boys that haven't hit puberty yet? No wonder people are avoiding movies and just crappy movies. I don't think it is possible because, you know, they're trying to obliterate the ideas of masculine and feminine and, you know, ideas of traditional gender roles. They want to turn the world into essentially one big homogenous pile of shit. And well, they're doing a pretty good job of it, I gotta say. Kudos to those dumb shits for, you know, ruining everything. They've come very good at it. Roadhog 1167 with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Roadhog, again. He says a Wile E. Coyote movie. I'd buy that for $1. Me too. In fact, I'll pay 12 or 15 bucks to go see that in the theater if they finally release it, which I really hope they do. It sounds like it might, just maybe, it might be something really special. I'm hoping. Troy Neenan with a $2 Australian super chat. Thank you, Troy. Says, hope Sony dumps $250 million in Lady Web. And they've got a spider symbol, Spider Marvels. Yeah, they really are. I mean, that Madam Web shit, it really is kind of the Spider Marvels, isn't it? That was what I noticed when you said, you know, who's in it and shit. That's what I think. Bun $2.99 with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Bun. Says prayers for our brother Demo Man Chaos. Oh no, he had a nasty bike accident this weekend and required surgery. Holy shit! Wow. Well, Demo Man Chaos, we're pulling for you, buddy. God bless you out there. We hope it went well. And I just want to do a shout out to SP4H. I don't want to say what's going on with SP4H. One of my wrenches that you guys know very well. But he has had some medical issues. I just want you all to please pray for SP4H and send him a lot of support and love, folks. And because it's been something serious, but it's looking like it's going to be okay. But so prayers for Demo Man Chaos. Carla Burton says he broke his arm. He said he's a cyborg now. So, okay. So God bless Demo Man Chaos. God bless SP4H. You know, I don't want to say any more. Just please send him your thoughts and prayers, folks, if you would be so kind. He's a great guy and a great friend, and you know, a hell of a wrench. So we're pulling for you, buddy. Hail to you. And Space Monk, who's been an arch villain of mine for 32 months now. Thank you, Space Monk. Says, good evening, panel and chat. Be safe and stay angry. Hail to you, Space Monk. Thank you, sir. And all of you arch villains out there, I just want to let you know that we're having an arch villain live stream tomorrow, Thursday, at 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern time. So I send out a notice about it. All of you arch villains, hope you'll come over and chat with me and hang out. It's just for arch villains. Hail Space Monk. I hope to see you there, my friend. Michael Beacom with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Michael Beacom. He says, Wile E. Coyote, super genius. I love Wile E. Coyote. He is my favorite cartoon character. God, I love him. Scott V with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Scott. Says, Hail Doomcock and panel. Please forgive me, my lord, as for some reason I forgot about tonight's breakdown. Won't happen again. Live long and prosper. Live long and prosper, Scott V. Thank you for being here tonight, man. And you made it. That's really all that matters. Few more first time super chats here.
Those are exciting.
I know. It's amazing. I read the one from Hung Tadpole asking about the Madam Web trailer. Thank you, Hung Tadpole. And Hamilton Burger with a $2 super chat, a Canadian super chat. Thank you, Hamilton. It's his fifth super chat of all. And he says, DC is drunker than me, and I'm birthday drunk. Well, I'm not drunk at all, actually. I drank heavily yesterday and basically spent a lot of today hungover. So I haven't had a drink today. So I don't know what you're saying, Hamilton. I'm not drunk. I was drunk yesterday, though, but not today. But happy birthday to Hamilton Burger, ladies and gentlemen. Happy birthday, Hamilton Burger, and God bless. And Hung Tadpole, thank you again for those super chats, my friend. I'm deeply, deeply honored. All right, you know what? I think it's time to talk about the movies we love. Okay, folks, time for a confession. Today is the day that I first saw Police Academy. I had never seen it before. I knew we were going to go do it tonight. And so I went ahead and queued it up and watched it. And it was funny as shit. It was there were some really, really funny gags in this. This was like going back in time to when the world was a better place, when you had, dumb, funny comedies with nudity and absurd, situations. And it was just all in good fun. I mean, basically this is Stripes, but with the police. I thought it was great. I had a blast. I'm not by any means an expert on this movie because it's the first time I saw it. It was just earlier this afternoon, but just from a perspective of somebody that had never seen it before, I gotta say it was fucking great. I had a lot of fun. I will say the tango in the Blue Oyster.
That's the best scene in the movie.
Well, it's damn near the best. My favorite part of the movie is when that asshole instructor is tearing away on the motorcycle and he can't control it, and he's heading for a horse trailer, and the horse looks back at him, and he hits a bump and he flies through the air, and his head goes up the horse's ass, or it's just, I mean, goddamn, that right there to me was the funniest part. But what's up with the guy? What's his name that makes all those sound effects?
Oh, Michael Winslow.
Yeah.
So is he actually making those?
Yep.
Yes.
Is he doing all of those?
Yep.
For real?
Yep.
I think the only one that he might not have done was the machine gun in the when they're all piling up on the police car.
Right.
But other than that, he's really doing those.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's fucking incredible. I couldn't believe that guy was making that shit. Wow. Okay. Well, Tackleberry was fucking
He's
hilarious.
My favorite.
He's a fucking maniac.
You will move now, mister.
Oh my God. In the podium.
Oh God.
I knew Steve Gutenberg was gonna stick his head out first. I just fucking knew it. Yes, Larvell Jones. Yes, Doctor Monsignor Larvell Jones. Probably my favorite. He's just so fucking weird, that guy.
Yeah.
Kim Cattrall. I'm surprised she didn't take it all off, because that's what Kim Cattrall does. Yeah. But we did have some good female nudity in there, so
yeah,
what can I say?
Some boobage. It was cool. Yeah.
Good boobage, good buttage.
Yeah.
No frontal, but that's all right. Gary, what do you know about this movie? What can you tell us?
This was a hard one to get notes for, but I got a few things. So here we go, guys. All right, Police Academy. Directed by WKRP in Cincinnati creator Hugh Wilson and shot in Toronto at a psychiatric institute on a $4.5 million budget, the film grossed $149 million worldwide.
Woo!
Big, huge Mondo success.
Damn.
While working on The Right Stuff, producer Paul Maslansky noticed while shooting the John Glenn parade sequence that the police cadets that were hired for security were a very diverse group. All different ethnic backgrounds, all shapes and sizes, male and female. When he inquired to the cadet's commanding officer about the interesting group, he was informed that due to a hiring policy implemented by San Francisco Mayor Dianne Feinstein, they were not allowed to turn down any applicants, regardless of race, creed, or inability to read. But that most of them never made it past 3 weeks of police training and were flushed out. This conversation sparked the idea that became the Police Academy franchise. So there you go. It's this whole franchise is this is how you do diversity correctly.
Yeah.
This is how you do it. It's funny, it's goofy. Some of these people don't belong as cops, but they're all celebrated. They're not made fun of so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're all insane. The whole fun. And right there, that is the rabbi on Seinfeld that was hitting on Elaine.
Yeah.
That's him.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Bruce Willis auditioned for the role of Carrie Mahoney, along with Judge Reinhold, Tom Hanks, and Michael Keaton. Steve Gutenberg showed up to the audition wearing his father's Police Academy t-shirt and was given the role. Apparently his father was actually in the Police Academy. He was a cop. Between 1980 and 1990, no other Screen Actors Guild actor made more movies than Gene Hackman or Steve Gutenberg.
Wow.
How about that? I didn't know that.
No,
I knew
I
about
didn't
Gene
know
Hackman.
I did not know that either.
I didn't know about Steve Gutenberg.
That's interesting.
You don't see him in a lot these days.
No, he's pretty much retired.
Yeah.
He's going to a lot of conventions though. He just did a I like that part. He just did a Police Academy reunion a couple years ago, and I was watching part of that as the research. Former NFL defensive end Bubba Smith, playing for the Baltimore Colts, Oakland Raiders, and Houston Oilers, as well as Super Bowls 3 and 5, was cast as Cadet Moses Hightower. He played the character for 6 of the 7 franchise films. David Graff was cast in the role of Cadet Eugene Tackleberry after he arrived to his audition in full camo gear and burst into the office fully armed with toy machine guns. Marion Ramsey, who plays Cadet Laverne Hooks, said that during her audition, the producers told her that her character was scared of everything, even the air she breathes. Ramsey had remembered meeting Michael Jackson the night before after starring in a stage performance in Little Shop of Horrors. He congratulated her on her talents, and Ramsey chose to do an imitation of the famous pop singer for her audition. She is imitating Michael Jackson's voice in the final film.
Ah, it makes sense now.
Yeah. Bubba Smith says, "Don't let the voice fool you. She's the loudest woman I've ever met." Obviously, he's never met Dylan Mulvaney. Michael Winslow, who plays Cadet Laville Jones, was a last-minute addition to the film when a casting director saw his stand-up routine while opening for Count Basie. Winslow's incredible and very unique talent to imitate virtually any sound effect using just his own voice landed him roles in many other films, including Mel Brooks' Spaceballs.
That guy is really talented. And
Yes.
there we are. There we got the Blue Oyster.
I'm telling you, this is the greatest joke ever, because this is every straight guy's like nightmare. You literally you open the wrong door and all of a sudden, there's dudes in leather doing a tango contest, It's like
I'm just naturally an asshole because I knew when he gave that address, it was going to be a gay bar. I just knew it. I swear to God, I just knew it was going to be.
That's funny.
But my God, when they're like slow dancing, then after the tango,
Oh my God,
being
it's so great.
being so vulnerable.
Yeah, yeah. The song that's playing in the tango contest is called El Bimbo. It's a great song. I have it as a ringtone on my phone. Iconic poster artist Drew Struzan illustrated the one sheet for the film's release. How about that?
Oh, that guy's great. Man.
So you got Star Wars, Indiana Jones, or did he do Star Wars?
Yeah, he actually. No.
I don't think he
Tom Hall.
Okay. Well, Back to the Future, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Big time posters, and Police Academy.
Yeah.
So
I got some Kirk and Spock and McCoy posters that Struzan did.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, they're so good.
Drew Struzan was the body model for Michael J. Fox in the Back to the Future poster. I went to Struzan's house and he showed us the photograph that somebody took of him in that pose, and he just drew himself because he didn't have a reference model.
No
That's
shit.
pretty cool. Yeah, it's him. That's actually him.
You've been over at his place? That's so damn cool.
Yeah, I saw the original Back to the Future poster. He had just auctioned it off. I think it was $250,000.
Oh
Nice.
my God.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was crazy. Hugh Wilson strived for a less raunchy film in contrast to its screenplay. After its release, the film received negative reviews, citing its lack of vulgar jokes and poor attempt of being a smarter film than it was. Roger Ebert gave his famous rating of 0 out of 4 stars for Police Academy, saying that no adult should watch this movie.
Wow.
Boy, was he wrong. During a test screening, producers, the director, and Alan Ladd Jr. watched an audience praise the film all the way up until the end, which they felt was disappointing. This was fixed at the suggestion of Alan Ladd Jr. by reprising the best gag in the film, the podium scene, but this time turning the tables on the Mahoney character. This addition saved the film and allowed it to bring in its massive return.
Wow.
My last note, the film spawned a 7-film franchise as well as an animated series and even a line of action figures made by Kenner. The film series is one of the most successful in cinema history, bringing in at the box office alone from 1984 to 1994 over $400 million worldwide.
Wow.
And most of these films' budget were single-digit millions.
Wow.
Single-digit. Like, this was a $4.5 million movie. So,
It's incredible.
yeah. You're talking about the whole series profited almost 100 times what they paid for this movie. That's pretty massive.
That's amazing.
Yeah, this movie alone did $140 million in the worldwide box office at $4.5 million budget.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you watched it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. You should watch the second and third one. Those are they're still pretty funny. I don't know. I think they obviously get progressively worse. But the second and third one still has Steve Guttenberg and the original characters in it, I think. So check it out.
Yeah, and the fourth one, which the fourth one was one of my favorites, just because when I was growing up, I was a skateboarder, and they had Tony Hawk, Mike McGill, like all the professional skateboarders that did all the skateboard scenes in the fourth one.
I remember the fourth one. That was one of the ones I watched when I was a kid.
Yeah,
but yeah, these movies are funny as hell.
Yeah, they are. So, are you saying that I should? What about the second one, third one? Which one should I watch?
Check out 2 and 3. You'll like
2 and
those.
3.
Yeah.
Are
You
they?
can
How
check
are they
out 4,
relative?
but I don't think that 2 and 3 are good. Bobcat Goldthwait's is in the second one. I believe he's in the third one as well. He's really funny. I like Bobcat Goldthwait. There's some new cast members in the second and third one. It's still funny.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, they're worth checking out.
I will take a look at it. I will
Yeah.
take a look at it. And I'm sorry, Hamilton Berger was asking where his super chat went, so I saw that he had a first time one, and I read it out of order. It is his birthday. I just want to read this real quick for Hamilton. Hamilton Berger with a $10 Canadian super chat. Thank you, Hamilton. Says it's my 43rd birthday tomorrow, and I will probably have to catch the rest of PCB on the replay due to the birthday beers. Hail DC and the panel. Here's hoping Hollywood learns something. Amen, Hamilton Berger. Amen, and happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday.
I'm
Happy
sorry
birthday.
about that. We got it out of order, man. And Hamilton Berger with a $5 Canadian super chat. He may not stick around long, so I just wanted to read these because he was waiting. He says, so who made Steve Guttenberg a star? Police Academy or the Stonecutters?
We
Still
did.
here, more intoxicated.
He was in
did.
Diner.
Yeah.
Diner was a
did.
big film.
We do.
We did, man. We did. That's the answer there. Hamilton, happy 43rd birthday, man. That is super cool. I just wanted to get those in. Thanks for that. Mexican Iron Man, what do you think about this Police Academy?
I don't think he's seen this one, DC.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Then Robert Wright, what say you?
Yes, I love these movies. I grew up watching them. 1 through 4 are my favorite. The great thing about this movie is that you had a lot of great character actors in this, and you've got there's so many wonderful comedic scenes where they're allowed to do a little bit of improvisation and do what each actor does best. And that's what I love about this film. The other great thing about this film that there's an underlying story in it that I think really resonates and should resonate today, and they should have more of this kind of stuff today. But there are a couple of characters in this movie that actually go to the police academy to better themselves. And there's one particular character in this that betters himself. And at the end of the movie, he gets picked on at the beginning of the movie, joins the police academy, learns how to fight, learns all this stuff, learns all these skills, and uses them against these bullies that picked on him before. He bettered himself. And that's a thing that's lost in our society today, is bettering yourself, or having movies about people wanting to better themselves, which I think is a great underlying tone of this movie. Despite it just being a comedy, it has that great underlying tone of this. But this movie is hilarious. The other thing I want to note is the guy who plays Captain Harris, G.W. Bailey. He's from Port Arthur, Texas, and he went to high school with Jimmy Johnson and Janis Joplin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I didn't know that about him. I'd heard it actually on the radio watching football. They mentioned his name because he went to Texas Tech for a while too.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, so
Nicely said.
But if you haven't seen Police Academy, I suggest you watch it. Start with the first one, second, third. I even like the fourth one. The first 4 are great. So.
All right. So it looks like I got some more viewing to do, huh?
Yeah.
Definitely worth the watch for sure.
Yep.
Fair enough. Nick, what do you think about Police Academy?
Man, I'm so glad that we got to this movie, DC, and you've actually finally watched it. I can't believe that there's people like you out there that have not ever seen this. What's going on?
I know. Well, I just didn't, I don't know.
How lucky is he to have this to watch right now? And
Yeah,
enjoy
like
it. I mean,
man,
I'm kind of jealous. Yeah.
Yeah, how cool would that be to, like, if you could erase your mind and go back and watch some of these movies for the very first time. Yeah, but yeah, these are absolutely great. I love this whole series. I haven't watched the cartoon as a kid. I had some of the action figures growing up. And the funny thing is, I guess growing up in the time that we grew up in, this really wasn't a kid's movie per se. But
well, no, with all the nudity and
yeah, but we all watched it, and none of the parents were like, "Oh my God, you can't watch that movie." Like I don't ever remember hearing that. Like me, all my friends, like everybody watched it. We freaking laughed about it. The podium scene, absolutely classic. You know, and then he's walking off and he's like, who is under there? And then Gutenberg sticks his head out. Like, how embarrassing. Like every time I see that scene, I'm just like, oh, I can't even imagine what's going through his head right now. Looking at him, you know, like, oh shit. and literally all I can do is say, good speech, sir. Good speech. And then pokes his head right back in.
Oh God.
But yeah, these are absolute classics. Love it. So glad that DC got to watch this for the first time. Hopefully a lot of you guys out there are gonna see it for the first time, and hopefully come back and leave a comment on this live stream later on. Give your thoughts. But yeah, absolutely love it. Great series.
I really just love the comedic timing on a lot of this stuff. You know, the thing where he's on the motorcycle. You know, he can't control it. We see the horse. He hits something. He flies through the air head first, and you see the tail of the horse go up, and then it cuts away, and you hear a which is funnier than even if you saw it, although I do wish they'd have shown a shot with his head up the
Someone get a vet.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to call a veterinarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the lineup afterwards, he goes to Mahoney. So you told nobody about this, and everybody's kind of laughing at him. And then Jones makes the horse sound.
Yeah, he walked away and he's like, "Ooh."
It was great, man.
So many great comedic moments in this. Yeah, and same with the rest of the films after these ones. A lot of great comedic moments in those that a lot of memes are made after. Larvell Jones, he's probably one of my favorites, and he actually gets better in the series as they go on. I'm not going to spoil kind of what he becomes, his character, but I was a big fan of what they did with him moving forward in the series.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to you know, taking my time and seeing some more of these, because it was a great time, you know, travel back to a better time when people had a sense of humor and not everything was so fucked up.
Yeah, when I rewatched this last week, I was sitting there seeing several like that scene right there where he flips the police car over. like so many of the moments and the words and the language use in this, no way movies would get away with today. They would be canceled.
I know. Oh God,
canceled. Yeah, it's funny to go back and watch some of the stuff, and you know, especially in the time that we're in now.
And there's Ilsa, she wolf of the SS. Holy shit.
She is.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, and she's pretty much the same in the other films moving forward as well.
Yeah, there's a pool scene in one of the other ones.
The pool scene, that's in the fourth one. The pool scene in the fourth one with her is great.
All right. Well, yeah, she was something. Yeah, she was something. Douglas, what do you think of this movie?
She was something indeed.
She was some things.
Yeah.
Good.
You know, we're talking about, like, you see, rewatching it through the lens of today, you know, and it's like, you know, God, we sure could use just stupid, dumb fun. And that's basically what it is, you know. And you got your side gags and everything. And I was rewatching and I was like, I wonder how much it's been a while since I'd seen it, how much I missed out on. I really hadn't missed a whole lot, but it's for some reason the horse scene. Why would I blink that one? And then it's like, oh, today probably would have seen him actually in the horse.
Well, you could have shot it in such a way that
his legs kicking outside the back of the trailer or something. Get me out of here.
Actually, it would have been funnier if he was just rigid, just his head, just like a board, just sticking like a dart. I mean, I want to see that. I can see it in my head, but it,
But then they got to the
fucking
scene. If
hilarious.
you notice that, like his hair's wet.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Here's your new hat, sir.
Yeah, I know. I left the hat up there. I wish there would have been flies circling him that whole scene. That would have been hilarious. They missed out on that. They should have had that.
But even else is laughing at him, So,
Yeah, I know.
but it's just one after another like that, and that's what makes it great. And you got to think, well, how do we handle this or whatnot, and all that, and then like Gutenberg in the podium and the commandant goes, "We've got to get rid of this guy. Why? What do you do now?" Well,
Something very.
just get rid of it.
Oh man! And when they find the village people and the
I know that's like it. Hey, where's the party going to be at? Oh, it's going to be at the Blue Oyster. All right.
I just knew it. Knew it.
Yeah.
Tango
What
contest.
happened last night? Dancing.
Just dancing, sir. Just dancing.
And then, of course, the shoe polish gag. And he
Yeah.
doesn't understand why the other guy's laughing. Oh, we're just doing the villain laugh, huh? So for just, a stupid fun romp, it's excellent for that.
It is, man. It's a lot of fun, and it's not uptight, and you could just relax and have fun, and see some boobs and get some laughs and shit. That's a good evening for me.
Yeah, the bonfire party scene.
Oh man, yeah.
That's what happens at bonfires all the time.
Yeah.
Shit.
Huckleberry's reaction to all of it.
He's like trying to
Kim
play the
Cattrall
sax.
was really beautiful back then. She was
Oh,
really
yeah.
pretty.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
She kind of loses her English accent halfway through, though.
That's true.
Seems
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
She kind of forgot.
Mhm.
Anyway, Douglas, anything else you wanted to say?
No, everybody's covered it. It's a fun film if you want to have a laugh and have fun, and you hadn't seen it, which, like Gary said, I envy you. Have fun.
I'm gonna have a great time. Andy, anything to say?
This is a great example of how you can take all of these characters with just a little bit of time. They don't. Each one doesn't really have a whole lot of screen time, but each one is pretty much developed pretty well, and you get a feel. They each get their moment to shine. You kind of know them, and in contrast to today's stuff where they give these people way too much time and you still don't know who they are. Every one of these characters makes you laugh and makes you has a great moment at one point or another. I love the scene where he was, like you were just saying, where he loses the accent, and then of course the I'm in love. This girl, Officer Callahan there, she just throws him down and has her way with him, which of course would be problematic, and maybe it would be, with Wonder Woman 84, maybe that's not a problem, but
I wonder if he was named after Dirty Harry.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, maybe yeah.
Yeah, I like when she's like wrestling the guys and she's like sitting on that dude's face. She's like, "All right, who's next?" And everybody's like, Great.
She's in a movie called The Last Resort that has it's sort of a low budget comedy that has some scenes you'd like, Doomcock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's nothing too explicit, but it's very sheer. But anyway, yeah, great movie. It's a lot of fun. This is when movies didn't take themselves so seriously and they were just looking to entertain people and give you a good laugh. There's so many things that you just find yourself like cracking up at, and they seem like little silly gags. I mean, that putting Michael Winslow in there with those little things where he's does the PA announcement, like where he calls Mahoney out to go to the
Commandant's office.
Office, and has him go out to there like, was that? And then when they do the actual announcement, they say, "Was that you?" And he's like, "No, it wasn't me." Yeah, little things like that. Teaching Hightower how to drive, and that whole chase scene. Yeah,
You had to pull the front seat out and basically.
Oh yeah.
yeah. And then it turns out it was the little Nazi cops car.
Yeah. With the
He was
rebel
all
flag
mad.
on the front.
Yeah.
Right, I know.
And then at the end, after they get their guns taken from, they run and hide, and they go right back in the Blue Oyster.
Yeah. Yes.
A little more dancing. Yeah, great movie. It was a lot of fun. This is what we're lacking now, is movies that are just fun.
I know, man, and also we need more women showering right in front of completely open windows.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what science fiction shit is this? You know, that doesn't really happen, but it made me very happy. Made me very happy. And then they see the instructor and all start screaming then. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Poor
Yeah.
Tom
And with
Sessions.
this being the kind of the first film, like going forward, like all the character development for all these characters, they just really do a good job moving these characters all along and developing them even further into the other movies. So that's why I highly recommend watching. This isn't one of those series where it's like, watch the first one and you can forget about the rest. No, all the other ones just keep carrying the story forward for the most part until you get, like Gary said, once you get past at least past 4 for me is when they really started to drop off. Like the one where they go to Miami, I was just like, oh man, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 was awful.
Yeah.
Really? So
Yeah,
stop.
I would stop
don't
at
watch
4.
the 5th one. Yeah.
Yeah, stop at 4, Doomcock.
Don't watch 4. So just 2 and 3.
No, I'd watch 4 for
I like
sure.
Oh, watch at 4 and then
Yeah,
stop
stop.
at. Okay.
Yeah, stop with the 4th one.
All right. And they just went downhill from there.
Yeah. Who was it that makes his screen debut in the 4th one from Saturday Night Live?
David Spade.
Yeah, David Spade. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. The
Interesting.
Fridge from the Chicago Bears is in the 4th one as well. He's pretty funny.
All right. Well, I will check those out, guys. And I think this was a good movie to pick. We need more, crazy shit like this, in the spirit of Naked Gun and, Airplane and Animal House and Stripes. I mean, this is very much like Stripes.
Yeah.
I think this is damn near like almost a clone of Stripes in a lot of ways. It's very, very similar. You could interchange, Steve Guttenberg and Bill Murray in those movies,
I actually thought about that when I was rewatching it this last week.
Yeah. Very, very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar. All right, guys. Well, that's the movie that we love for this week. And now let's go ahead and get to the rest of these super chats here.
Super chance, mofo.
All right. So let's see. The Wolfram Heart 79. Been a channel member of mine for 3 months now. Thank you, Wolfram Heart 79, who says Looney Tunes are the Citizen Kane of animation. I agree entirely. They're the best. There's so many great we could spend a whole pop culture breakdown sometime just highlighting our favorite Warner Brothers cartoons and just talking about them and laughing at them. They're the best. Really, honest to God, they're the best. It breaks my heart that a lot of kids may these days never see them even. They were all over the TV when I was a kid.
Yeah, every Saturday morning.
Yeah. Or even during the weekday. I mean, they had it everywhere. And, and now I they're watching shit like, I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck,
Laura the Explorer and
shit with Peppo the pig or some shit like
Brie
that.
E.
Well, and they'd show them for like a couple hours, and I get up on Saturday mornings and I watch Looney Tunes for an hour and a half. I'd be entertained, and my parents could sleep in, do whatever they wanted.
Yeah,
right. and they're so goddamn good. They got something for everyone, adults, kids. You didn't have to get all the jokes as a kid. But then when you grew up, you kept getting more out of them, and the timing was just unbeatable. No comedic directors have ever been as good as these Warner Brothers directors. Although John Landis comes close. Really, that guy.
My dad watched these with me when I was a kid too, and he loved them. He'd watch the Looney Tunes stuff with me. Not some of the other Saturday morning cartoons I'd watch, but Looney Tunes, he'd always watch those ones with me.
Yeah, too goddamn funny. Apple 2GS says they're horribly censored now. If you can find them on streaming, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, I've got like Mexican Iron Man. I've got the Looney Tunes collection with it's just like I've got 6 volumes. Huh?
Did I send you that a few years ago?
No.
Maybe you're the one that told me that's what it was. You had it. And you told me to go buy it, and I went and ordered it because I didn't know it existed. That's right. I think that's what happened.
And aren't they great, man?
Oh, dude, they're so good, so good.
I would really love
the one that I'd literally die laughing every time I choke is the one where Bugs Bunny plays the Matador.
Oh yeah,
I choke laughing every single time.
Well, every Halloween, I like the one where he goes to that castle and it's like the Dracula guy and it's abracadabra and hocus pocus, and he keeps turning into a bat and turning back into a human.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Madam, eating children at your age? Call the witness.
The one that all of them I love, but I love the hillbilly one where like the two hillbillies, the rival hillbillies are both trying to get Bugs, and then he dresses up in drag and gets them to square dance, and then he unplugs the jukebox and starts changing the lyrics, and they're so goddamn stupid that they're doing what the square dance caller is telling them. And so there's one part where it says, now grab your partner, hold him tight, whack your partner with all your might, whack him high and whack him low. So they're whacking each other with boards and shit. That fucking cracks me up. Craig Rowe Jr. with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Craig. Says, I saw the trailer of the HBO Fallout series, and I don't think fans are going to be happy that the hero is a female. Jesus Christ. No, they're not.
Not surprised.
No. I'm just sick of it. I'm so goddamn sick of it. Fucking hell. No, well, so much for the Fallout show, right? So much for that. It's done. It's done.
It's just becoming the norm these days.
Yeah, it's a cliche. It's ridiculous. Fuck them all. I'm done. I'm not even gonna look at the goddamn Fallout show. Fuck it. Dead on arrival. Sorry. Yeah. VintageGamer.com with a $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says Gabriel Iglesias said his casting as Speedy was Big Brown Shield. Apparently, only Mexicans can voice Mexicans in Studio Logic. He nailed it, though. Did they do like a reboot of Speedy or something? Is that what he's talking about?
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so it was for the recent crappy film that LeBron James had, and so he auditioned and he nailed the audition.
Okay, all right. I tell you honestly, the modern whoever's voicing Bugs and those characters these days is not doing a great job. It doesn't sound really like them to me. I think I do a better Bugs Bunny than whoever's doing it, honestly. TLJ Screwjob with a $10 super chat. Thank you, TLJ Screwjob. Says the only parts of Space Jam 2 I liked was the Looney Tunes stuff, not Mikey Spock or LeBron. Fave joke was Wile E falling into his own multiplier machine and scoring 30 points. I didn't see Space Jam 2, so
I was not watching it.
Yeah, I can't comment on it.
I actually like the first one with Michael Jordan.
Right. Yeah. The first Space Jam. Yeah. Not bad. Although, Roger Rabbit got the Looney Tunes characters absolutely correct. You know,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Bugs looked and sounded like Bugs. You know, Daffy was exactly Daffy. Porky was great.
Doom, did you know in the original version of the Roger Rabbit script, Roger Rabbit discovers, I think through his adopted parents, and he finds out who his real father is, and it's Bugs Bunny.
Ah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
that would have
That
been
would've been-
great.
Yeah. I wish they would have done that.
That would have been great.
Maury
That would have
Povich.
absolutely been fantastic.
That was an early version of the script.
But goddamn, I mean, that movie is perfect. Roger Rabbit is a perfect movie.
Yeah, it is.
I
Yep.
mean, even to the end of it.
All right, everybody move on. There's nothing left to see.
Yeah.
You know, that's all, folks. Say, I kind of like the sound of that. That's all, folks.
and then Tinkerbell flies up and waves the wand and ends it. I mean, it's just, I get chills just thinking about it. Just the way everything was perfect.
Yes.
Betty Boop was everything. Damn.
Apparently, there's 2 nipple slips from not only Betty Boop, but Jessica Rabbit, too, that were removed.
Oh, those bastards.
I think the nipple slip is on the Laserdisc and VHS version,
Yeah.
but the Jessica Rabbit one was removed before it got printed for the 35 millimeter. So,
Son of a bitch.
I know, right?
Bastards.
Yeah, apparently that's a rare find. That the video cassette I read somewhere where
Mhm.
that's like very much sought after.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully somebody has digitized it and it's out there.
Yeah. Well, you know, watch frame by frame Baby Herman walking through that lady's legs in the beginning of the movie. And I can't believe they didn't take that out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that, Doom, but watch
Well,
that one frame by frame.
what
No,
is there-
watch it frame by frame. No, I'm not going to tell you. You go ahead and go watch it. Watch
Still?
what he does. Oh, yeah. Watch it.
All right.
Yeah.
I will.
It's
something to
only
look
about
forward to.
4 frames, but you know exactly what's going on when you watch those 4 frames.
All right. Holy
Yeah.
shit. I love it.
It's filthy.
Velro Kowal with a $5 super sticker of the Invisible Man. It's the first time one. So thank you, Velro Kowal. I'm really honored. Thank you for the support, my friend. TLJ Screwjob with a $5 super chat. Thank you, TLJ Screwjob. Says, my favorite Looney Tunes was the medieval Bugs and Yosemite one. Open that gate, rabbit. Open up, I say. Flattens Yosemite. Close it. Close it.
The dragon. Dude.
Oh, God.
I love What's Opera Doc.
Oh, God. What's
Yeah.
opera, Doc?
Yes.
Oh, but held I so of we.
Yes, I know it.
Dude.
I can help it.
Dude, the horse. The horse is the best. Big fat horse with the tiny little nub legs that's running. And he's like on the back of the horse, dude. Oh, God. And the horse like plants its fat ass on the ground and Bugs kind of slides off.
In a reclining repose.
Right?
Slides
Oh, God. It's so funny.
Oh, I know it.
As great as all those are, it just made the ending of Mandalorian 3 with that Looney Tunes exit just more upsetting. I'm like,
No,
you don't even
yeah.
deserve to have an ending like that.
Yeah.
No.
They did the same thing with Indy 5, too. That's
I-
all,
I-
folks.
I didn't even watch
You know,
it.
Yeah, fucking
Stupid
assholes.
bullshit.
This fucking horrible shit. But that What's Opera Doc won an Oscar for best short.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it won. I think there have been 2 like Oscar-winning Warner Brothers cartoons. I think the other one was One Froggy Evening with Michigan J. Frog. You know that
Hello,
sings,
mother.
Oh, hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime girl. That, which is a masterpiece. Chuck Jones, man.
Yeah.
Is that
Both
public
of them
domain
actually were
song?
Chuck Jones. Huh?
Is that public domain song now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was great. I love it when, you know, Elmer Fudd is crying, and you've got the Wagner playing in the background, and he's carrying Bugs's dead body, into the sunset, and then Bugs pops up and says,
What else did you expect from an opera? A happy ending?
great stuff.
Poor little bunny.
I killed a rabbit.
Yeah, the horse is my favorite part. I die every time I see that stupid fucking looking horse just running with Bugs on the back, dude.
I know.
It's the best.
The horse looks so effete and smug.
Yeah, it's got like this dumb look on its face, crossed eyes. It's fucking great. Way overweight.
Oh yeah.
I still like rabbit season, duck season.
Oh yes.
And then the one where Daffy's like in this world and the animator keeps drawing all these different things and he's just getting annoyed and it flashes out and it's Bugs Bunny that's drawing all those things.
Yeah, it's called Duck Amuck.
Yeah, Duck Amuck.
And when he's hammering on the anvil, and then Bugs erases the anvil and draws a live shell, and he's hammering on the live shell. It explodes.
At the end, didn't he like erase him completely to where it's just Bill fell to the ground?
Yeah.
String sticking out. Yeah.
He would do all sorts of shit. But then there was also another one where Bugs got the same treatment. And it turned out that it was Elmer Fudd animating it. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, that's out there.
Did you like Tiny Toon? Did you like Tiny Toon Adventures, DC?
Nah, it just wasn't the same.
It was. I watched that as a kid though too, or late elementary school before I went to middle school.
Yeah, I mean, if you were, a tiny kid, maybe I don't know. To me, the Warner Brothers cartoons were the ones.
Oh yeah.
Rainbow with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Rainbow. Rainbow is saying, just wondering if you had a chance to see the amazing digital circus yet. It is just shy of a month since release, and it's now over 130 million views. Again, I'm waiting to see it. Mike saw it, and he said it was good, so I'll definitely go and
I think we'll have fun talking about it next week if you can.
I will watch it for next week. I promise. The Lost Wanderer has been Dominion for 24 months now. Thank you, Lost Wanderer says, a florist? Yeah, flowers and shit. Great line. The Last Dinosaur with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Last Dinosaur says, hail DVD. Bigger financial flop, Indy 5 or the Marvels? I suspect Indy 5. I think that ultimately Indy 5 will lose more money than the Marvels, but I'm not entirely sure. But with all the reshoots and shit they did on that, they really tried to save it. It was just futile.
Yeah, they added like a year to the production.
That was a higher fall from grace too, because nobody gives a fuck about the Marvels, but
exactly.
People love Indiana Jones.
Yeah, and I mean the franchise is dead forever, so I think that's a much bigger loss, in my opinion. We'll see. Phantom Outsider has been a Dumentite of mine for 36 months now. Thank you, Phantom Outsider. Says, shouldn't Disney need to pay Richard Donner's estate as he came up with programming for cats in Scrooged? Maybe so. That's a good point.
It's funny.
A Bear 71 with a $5 super chat. Thank you, A Bear. Says they stole the Portals idea from His Dark Materials novel series by Philip Pullman, specifically The Subtle Knife and Spaceballs. Yeah. Well, I haven't read His Dark Materials, so I couldn't comment on that. But they have commented about Spaceballs, so. Hail A Bear 71. Hecate's daughter, been a Dumentite of mine for 46 months now. Thank you. Hecate's daughter says, good evening to you and your wonderful panel. I am personally glad that you men watch the crap being made so that I can stay home and watch my DVDs. Hey, we're pleased to serve, Hecate's daughter. We're pleased to serve. We really are. Roadhog 1167 with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says Leslie Easterbrook and Kim Cattrall. Enough said. Yeah, man. Kim was beautiful when she was younger. You tend to forget that, but she really was.
Yeah.
VintageGamer.com with a $5 super chat. Thanks, Vintage Gamer. Says a buddy saw Gutenberg driving in LA. At a red light, he yelled out, Mahoney! He smiled and waved. Apparently, glad he's apparently good people and not an ass. That's nice to know, isn't it?
I heard he was a
guy.
nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I was kind of surprised. I'd never seen him play kind of a smart ass jerk before. Usually he plays, warm, kind of vanilla-y kind of guys. It was nice to see him in that part. He was good. Cartoon Maps with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Cartoon Maps, says DVD. I was going to see the Marvels tonight, but decided to listen to you all instead. Best decision ever. Thank you, Cartoon Maps. He says, hey, how about Wayne Knight as Reed Richards and Roseanne as Sue?
That works.
Probably better.
Yeah.
I mean, better than what the fuck they're planning. Seriously.
Yeah.
I would rather watch
need
that.
Pepe Pascal. We don't need that guy.
No.
He needs to go away.
No, he's just not right for the part. He's not right.
He needs to go away.
Yeah, I agree. Bredicus 6 with a $2 super chat. Thank you. Bredicus says the only Loki series I want to see is Richard Grant. Was he in a Loki?
Season 1. He was like an alternate, and he was wearing the classic comic outfit.
Right, he was. Yeah, I liked that. I thought he looked great in that. That would have been good. You're right. Now I remember. Stan Key Pussy with as I said, I didn't get it until I said it. Thanks. Perfectly played, Stan Key Pussy. Says with a $5 super chat, what if season 2 trailer features a Native American woman who gets an infinity stone and destroys the European colonizers? Disney has learned nothing. Well, they've learned to watch Pop Culture Breakdown, where Stanky Pussy gives them ideas that way. That's gold. I'm sure we're gonna see it now. Gronk 311 with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Gronk. Says regarding Superman in World War II, Clark Kent was 4F because he had trouble with his X-ray vision and read the eye chart in the next room over, so he wasn't drafted. Wow. Is that from a comic book, or where'd you get that, Gronk? That's kind of cool. Nicely said. I hadn't heard that. Michael Beacom with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Michael. Says, who do I feel sorry for? The judges of the Golden Raspberry Awards for this year. My God, how to choose. And we still have over 6 weeks of 2023 to go. Hunger Games and Wonka. God, who is going to go see either of those? Anybody?
No, I'm not.
No.
Douglas Nelson will.
Douglas will do it. He eats everything.
Guess again.
He's like Mikey.
Yeah, I'm done. By the way, I'll take this opportunity, Doomcock. I'm sorry, I gotta go.
That's okay, man. We ran a little long tonight. Douglas, God bless you, my friend. Really appreciate you hanging out here with us. And go ahead and plug your channel.
Yes, the channel is the Nelson Ratings, where I review things like the Marvels. Oh, boy, you don't want to miss out on that. And then the podcast is the Mr. Nelson Show over RadioMisfits.com or wherever you get your podcast. And for extra Nelson goodies, you can head over to the NelsonRatings.locals.com and head over to IndiePlanet.com to look up my Night comic books. You can enjoy those.
Absolutely. And you will. They're excellent. Thank you, Douglas. God bless you, man. We appreciated you being here tonight. And thanks for the artwork for the splash screen.
Yeah. Always enjoyed to have plenty of kitty cats.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend.
My pleasure. Have a good night.
Good night, brother.
Good night, Doug.
All right, we're almost done here. Let's see. Joe Lamont with a $2 super chat and a question I can't answer. Isn't Sue Storm Rambo's mom in the end credits? I didn't see it. I didn't see the end credits, so I can't answer that. Can anybody answer that? Does anyone know?
I have no idea. I know one of the, well, I don't want to spoil it, the end credit scene, but I know one of the, well, I'll just say this. I know one of the X-Men characters was in the end. I saw the clip, but I didn't really understand what was happening and what was going on because I didn't see the movie.
Well, I didn't see the end. I left, so I can't say. I would ask the chat. Is that Sue Storm? Is Sue Storm Rambo's mother in the end credits? And if so, is Sue Storm a woman of color now? Is that what they're trying to tell us? Meanwhile, Trip, Lord of Inconvenience, says, Overlord DVD, I love your videos. Thanks, Trip, Lord of Inconvenience. I appreciate that, sir. Appreciate the kind words there. Well, I'll wait for the answer in the chat, but we'll go on with the rest of these.
I think they're having some confusion about like who Monica Rambeau was, or Maria Rambeau was playing. She's actually playing a character named Binary, who was actually Carol Danvers after Rogue had stolen her Ms. Marvel powers, and she was off with the X-Men, and the alien bugs, the Brood, were messing with her genetics and her DNA, and they kind of triggered this thing, and she became Binary and absorbed the power of this binary star system and had these cosmic powers. And I think that's where like the confusion is coming. That's who she was playing. You probably don't recognize who it was.
Okay, yeah. Greg R says, no, Monica's mom was binary in the other dimension. Okay. So thanks. So I guess there's your answer, Joe. TLJ Screwjob with a $5 super chat says, awesome, Mike. I have a steel box version of Band of Brothers, and my favorite episode is Carrenton. If anyone else plus Mike has seen it, favorite episode.
Bastogne was my favorite one.
Yep, that's mine.
Episode 7, which is the second one after Bastogne, where you really have Lipton and Spears are the featured players in that one, where they take the town. So
okay,
that was a great series. I love Band of Brothers.
Amazing.
I'm not sure if I've seen it or not. I'd have to go back. I can't remember if I saw the Pacific or Band of Brothers.
I watched Pacific. It wasn't as good as Band of Brothers to me. I still liked it, but Band of Brothers, man, God.
I have to go and make sure that I've seen that. That was like all that was on HBO, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think I had HBO back then. Let's see. Jeff C with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Jeff C. Says the Marvels is the Tommy Wiseau's The Room of Marvel movies, which Carol's epic line is, I did not hit Kamala. I did not. Oh, hi, Monica. Jesus. Oh, my God. Such shit. Wes Cagle with a $2 super sticker of Bushiba giving me a thumbs up. Thank you, Wes Cagle, and hail to you, sir. Toddzilla with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Toddzilla. Says, for the first time in a long time, I bought tickets to Godzilla -1. 5 IMAX tickets cost $124. Shit. I hope it is worth the price. Family is excited to see it. Well, shit, if you're having a family outing, then it's worth the money regardless. Even if it sucks, you'll all watch it suck together. I mean, just have that in your mind that at least you're all together doing family stuff, and it's the holidays coming up, so it's not all bad. It's the best time to gamble on something like that. I'm gonna go see it. I'm looking forward to it. Toddzilla with a $2 super chat. Thank you, sir. Says, I agree with Gary. Rebel Moon looks woke. It kind of does. I'm just going to reserve judgment until I see it.
Same.
But I'm going to watch it. I have to look at it. It looks too good in terms of how pretty it is and how interesting the designs look, as opposed to Star Wars, which is like something that's like dead. I mean, this thing at least is alive. It may be woke, but it's living woke, as opposed to just this dead, lifeless pastiche of
corpse.
Yeah, corpse of the thing we loved. It's so fucking lifeless, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that because when I was over to Apex in Sun Valley, which is a prop rental place, all of the stuff that they were renting for Mandalorian has tags on it. So that people don't rent it because Mandalorian's going to rent it that week. Stuff right next to it was being rented by Rebel Moon. It's the same exact props, same stuff, same everything.
Interesting.
It's kind of interesting, yeah.
That is interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I'm going to watch it, but I am definitely open to the idea it may be just more woke bullshit. We'll
It
see.
looks like shit, but yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, you may absolutely be correct. I think the odds, if I had to give odds, I'd say the odds are 65% that it's going to be woke. But there's at least a 35% chance that maybe it will dodge that in some meaningful way. We'll see. Dark Saber Force with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Dark Saber Force. Says, I can't stop feeling sorry for Iman Vellani. She legitimately comes off as very sweet and lovable, complete opposite of Brie and the other Marvel actress. Yeah, no, she was good. She was the only good part of the movie. She just seems genuine, and she seems really like a sweet person. And so, not a compelling character, but except she's just very nice. And I thought she was very likable.
I heard a couple other reviewers saying the same thing.
Yeah. She was the only breath of fresh air. I wish she'd been the only one in the fucking movie. Then I probably would have stayed till the end. I don't know if it would have been any good, but it wouldn't have driven me out of the theater. Toddzilla with a $2 super chat again. Thank you, Toddzilla. Says Douglas's laugh is like chicken soup for the soul. I agree. Douglas, I wish you were here to hear that, but we really appreciate you, buddy. We really do. And Toddzilla with a $5 super chat. Thank you. Toddzilla says, hand to Bible or whatever deity you believe in. My favorite cartoon character of all time is Wile E. Coyote. I pray the film comes out and is good. Me too, man. Yeah. He is my absolute favorite. My absolute favorite.
With a 90% rating that they're getting from the test audiences, that's a pretty good sign right there.
A huge good sign, because they were talking about other movies that got that, and they're all classics. So, I'm praying to God it's good, and that it really has genuine emotion in it, and that one guy saying that people are crying at the end, because it's just so moving. I mean, Jesus Christ, that is great. I gotta see it. Craig Rowe Jr. with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Craig. Craig says, one more thing. Do you think audiences are ready for the sex and orgy scenes in Dune Part 2? Leaks are showing that it's very graphic according to the books. I did not know that.
They'll probably do it in a tasteful manner. It's probably not going to be like, like on-screen softcore porn.
Caligula.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
would
know.
Get a max at 2:33 in the morning. They'll probably do it tastefully, So sort of similar to like Conan the Barbarian in the
right. Yeah. Just a bunch of limbs and kind of smoky and hallucinant. Yeah, I don't know. I'm ready for it. I mean, I don't care. They can show me anything they want,
I want to see if the ladies show up in mass for the Timothy Chalamet scene like Chris Hemsworth did in Thor 4. I'm sure that'll just bring them right out to it.
Yeah. Timothy Chalamet. I don't know. Jesus. Anyway, I won't get started on that shit. The Funny Hatter has been a channel member of mine for 12 months. Thank you, Funny Hatter. Says Sony's Craven or Madam Web, drinks are allowed. I'm not looking forward to either one, honestly. Why make a movie about Craven? And this Madam Web shit, it sounds like it's getting worse all the time. I don't know. John Coleman with a $5 super chat. Thank you, John. Says next week, can you do Ken Russell's 1991 film Whore? Probably not.
The week after that, we'll do Debbie Does Dallas.
Yeah, right. Ken Russell does the most fucked up movies.
Yeah, have you seen The Devils?
You told me about it. I really need to see it.
Oh my god. Things that I don't want to. I'll never watch it again.
It was fucking horrible, huh?
There's some stuff in that movie. I'm just like, I don't want to see this, man.
Wow. He's very, very disturbing. I don't know. Did you ever see Crimes of Passion?
No.
It starred Tony Perkins and Kathleen Turner.
Wow.
And it was fucked up. Man, That was a fucked up movie. Jesus. And he also did the Cook the Thief, the wife and her lover.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very fucked up movie. Ken Russell does fucked up shit. He did Listomania, didn't he? Yeah.
Yes.
Weird shit. Deeply fucking weird.
What was
Vintage.
that? What was that Matthew McConaughey movie with the chicken wings scene?
Oh, you stumped me. I don't know.
It was another one of those movies that it was really like fucked up. To where after I watched it, I was like, man, that was weird, and I don't know if I ever want to see that again.
Chicken wings?
Yeah, it was like maybe somebody in the chat knows what is that? I'm trying to Google it.
Yeah, China Blue, Wes Cagle. You've seen it. Yeah. Yeah, China Blue. Paperboy says Heather L. No. Killer Joe.
Killer Joe, that's it.
Says
Killer
William Vorkosigan.
Yep, Killer Joe. Yeah, that was a fucked up movie. After I saw it, I was like, God, I feel like I need to go like take a shower and like watch cartoons or something now.
I don't want to see that then.
Yeah.
That sounds fucked up. VintageGamer.com with $1.99 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says a Police Academy NES game was made but never released.
Oh, I did not know that.
I didn't either. Huh. Well, I guess it must have been pretty damn bad then.
Yeah. It was probably made by LJN.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
no shit.
The Tingler 1959 with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Tingler. Says make sure you watch the unedited Police Academy. There is a lot of TNA in the ladies' shower and at the party that put the dummies to the Blue Oyster Bar. Those dumb fucks. They really missed out. Jesus. It was good. Blaze Heart Panther with a $10 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says movies I'd recommend for you to review are cult classics from other countries. One is a Czech stop motion film, Krysar, the Pied Piper, and a traditional animated film, Max Gafogo, Cat City. Well, thanks, Blaze Heart Panther. Send me links to those or something, and I'll look at them. I don't think, because most people wouldn't know these movies, so we probably wouldn't want to do them, but I would like to watch some. I think it sounds kind of interesting. Please send me some links, man, or a reminder. Thank you, Blaze.
Probably knows about them.
Yeah, probably. I've never heard of those though.
I mean, neither.
The October Mandalorian sent a super sticker of a star, a gold star coin. Thank you, October Mandalorian, for that super sticker. Gronk 311 with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you. Gronk says my favorite Bugs Bunny cartoon is the one where he gets drafted. As an Army veteran, I can see that happening. Yeah, I remember that one. I think that was one of those World War II Bugs Bunny ones way back in the day. Good stuff. Israel R with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Israel. Says Looney Tunes was smarter and funnier than people now give it credit for as well. And Tom and Jerry. Police Academy, personal favorite. Miss comedy like that, and we need it back. Tropic Thunder comes close.
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder was pretty wild.
Yeah. I hope they make another one.
They couldn't even make that movie today.
No.
That didn't even come out that long ago.
God, I hope they make another one where Les Grossman becomes the president.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
And Robert Downey Jr., he needs to play a woman in a movie, so he has to undergo surgery, and oh my God, it would be so funny.
Figures you people like that.
Yeah.
What do you mean, you people?
Uh-oh. House of Trades with a $5 Canadian super chat. Thank you. House of Trades says a 4-minute World of Warcraft game trailer has so much heart and soul that 10 Disney movies can't even come close to. I haven't seen the World of Warcraft game trailer, but I don't doubt that you're correct. Fucking hell. Disney is soulless.
Yeah.
Absolutely soulless at this point. The Guardian of Azarath with a £2 super chat. Thank you, Guardian. Says, I love Alibaba Bunny. Hassan Chop. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Alibaba Bunny. Remember when he's cramming the genie back in the lamp? Wasn't it Daffy that was doing that? Like stomping him and putting him back in the lamp when he's trying to get out?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, damn, it was wild. Joe Lamont with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Joe. Says, okay, guys, best F forecasting Seinfeld cast. For Fantastic Four. So
Would George be the Thing?
George, I guess would be the Thing. Elaine would be Sue, Seinfeld would be Reed, and then Kramer would be the Human Torch. His hair does look like it's on fire. That'd be kind of perfect, Joe. Nicely done, dude. I like that. In London 19657 with a $5 super chat. Thank you, London. Says, I looked for your show this morning and I had no idea you were doing one this week tonight. Annoyed I'm 3 hours late. What the hell, guys? I don't know, man. I usually announce it like in the afternoon. I did. I said, we're doing it, but we always do it, on the same time, every Wednesday. So, we're here, man. We're here.
Man, even when
we were on time, where were you?
Yeah. Sorry, London. I guess the notification didn't go out. One thing is that we may, the week of December 6th, we may actually need to shift over to maybe Tuesday night or Thursday night. We'll keep you updated, but I can't do December 6th. I've got some stuff I got to do. So we will be doing shifting it one way or the other. We'll kind of coordinate with everybody and see what everyone can do. But I wanted to let you guys know that tonight. And TLJ Screwjob with a $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says, going by today's Hollywood's logic, if Band of Brothers came out today, Damian Lewis couldn't play Major Richard Winters since Mr. Lewis is British. Yeah, stupid fuck. That's why they call it acting. That's why they call it acting, is because the actor isn't really the character. I know that's a ridiculous concept for you guys, but that's the way it is. All right, let's go ahead and let everyone plug away. Gary Ambrosia, please plug whatever you would like to plug, my friend.
I got a goofy little channel on YouTube. You can find it under my name. I do funny, cool, interesting stuff. Check it out. Also, be here every Wednesday because we'll be here waiting for you to entertain you, to make you laugh, make you smile, and try not to make you cry. Hail to the chat. Hail to the wrenches. We love y'all. We'll see you next Wednesday. Stay angry.
Thank you, Gary Ambrosia. Mike, Mexican Iron Man, not a YouTuber. Go ahead and plug away, my friend, and do, you may want to do something with the corpse over there of Alf. He's pretty lifeless.
I hope he's okay. Watch our videos over on Midnight's Edge. We cover all things Disney, all things ESG, and pop culture and finance and entertainment. Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark.
Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. Robert Wright, go ahead and plug away, brother.
Come celebrate Gen X pop culture on my channel, Rob Wright's Gen X Pop Culture. This week, I've got a video on the Police album Synchronicity. That's coming out either Friday or Saturday.
Nice.
So a lot of great things about that album. And then don't forget to join us on Friday nights for Friday Night Frolics. You'll love this show because Doomcock has a wonderful voice. You heard some of his singing, but he can wail. He's got some great songs that he sings. Harvey tells funny jokes, and some of us in the chat request some wacky things. So it's a lot of fun. So join us on Friday night at 7:30 Central.
Thank you very much, Robert. And Nick of Echo Base Network, formerly a Star Wars channel. Plug away, Nick.
Yep. So I'm one half of Echo Base Network. We used to cover primarily Star Wars content, but as everybody knows, Star Wars sucks. So we have decided to move on and cover other stuff. We'll still cover Star Wars stuff if it's relevant or breaking news or something like that, or new show comes out. But we're trying to move beyond all that. Algorithm is not being friendly to our channel with us making this move away from Disney Star Wars. So we live stream every Saturday night. I'm actually working on putting together a Wednesday afternoon panel, 1 hour panel every Wednesday afternoon as well. I got some ideas, some things in the works. So stay tuned for that.
Thank you very much, Nick. Sounds good. And Andy Masterson, I got to say, your lair is really looking, you've put in a lot of work here and you look fantastic in there. It's just like, it looks so damn classy. Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. With the holidays approaching, I would like to draw everyone's attention to a tragedy that is unfolding. If in your travels you see these poor little abandoned children that look a little green with some tentacles on there, if you could give them some shelter while we track down their deadbeat father, we would greatly appreciate it.
You
Because they need some
motherfucker.
love too.
You motherfucker. I got my eye on you, asshole.
Oh, geez. Oh, boy. That's going to be worked up for Friday. All right. God damn. Go
Uh,
ahead, Andy.
Make sure you check back with us here on Wednesday night, where we're going to be going over some more news, and we will decide what movie we're going to do at which time. Keep an eye out for Fet for Hire, because he will be the first one to blast out his amazing artwork where he brings to life the posters for the Doomcock movies we love representation.
Absolutely. And I'm starting to use those to advertise the show on the announcement that I send out the day of the show. So it works out perfectly. I should have thought of that earlier. I'm just too stupid.
Hey, were you fucking Sally Struthers? He's like, I thought Sally Struthers was fucking dead. Here's Andy. She's back with a fucking beard. Fuck you! Fuck you!
Oh, how come I don't have one of those? I want one of those. I get one of those guys. I want to terrorize Harvey with it.
Oh, you want to terrorize Harvey? Here you go.
Now he's gone. Uh-oh.
He got so mad when I taped into his containment field.
No, that's evil. That's evil. All right. Well, goddamn. Poor Harvey. He takes so much shit from us. I don't know. He gives so much and asks for so little. The Tingler 1959 with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Tingler. Says, do yourself a favor and watch all of the police academies. They all have their own charm. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I tend to follow their recommendations, but we'll see. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I want to thank all my wrenches for doing such an amazing job. You guys are amazing. I love you all. And I want to thank all of the audience who showed up here tonight. We really appreciate you. It's a fun way to spend a Wednesday night, and we couldn't do it without you. So thanks a lot, you guys. We'll see you next Wednesday. Hope to see you on Friday Night Frolics on Friday. All right. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock and my panel of pop culture pundits bidding you all, my friends, oh yes, stay angry. Good night, everyone.